Gamers and gamettes, dudes and dudettes, lads and lassies, to another foisting episode of Games and Gamers. I am sad. I have to go off of my weekend shift, working 3 days a week, starting tomorrow, to working 4 days a week.
Money!
I'm losing money.
Oh.
I'm losing $2. It's a differential shift because I would work 36 hours as opposed to 40, so I'd get paid $19 an hour and get paid for 40 hours. I'm going to 40 hours and making $17 an hour. I'm losing $150, so not money, less money.
That is unfortunate.
It is, and it pisses me off because the boss originally. I'm also joined by Danger. Say hi, Danger.
Hello. Welcome to Games and Gamers.
Dudes and dudettes, lads and lassies. You gotta say that. You have to say all that
dudes and dudettes, lads and lassies, and everyone else.
And Gears of War fans.
Hello.
Alright, but anyway, yeah, so she basically, well, this happened like a month ago, and said, we're gonna quit it, we're gonna cancel it, but we're gonna keep you your $2 thing. I said, great. I'll go to days making $19 an hour. Then they decided, you know what, now we can't do that anymore. So you're losing your $2. So, yeah, I'm sad. And I got rid of Dokkan, awesome. And I got rid of Dokkan last night too, so I'm also sad. Yep. I've been missing Dokkan today. But we're not here to talk about my thing. We're here to talk about games and games. So Danger, well, you know the typical do. What is the media with you?
You know, I typically do not do this, but actually, what's the media with me is my own channel. So last night, well, no. Here's like, dude, last night.
It was cool. Plug it at plug it later.
It's what's the media? Because it's what I did. It's literally
If you watch your own content, that's sad.
No. I was updating all of my social medias with my stuff. I've been updating all my social medias except TikTok, I think, which I end up planning to do later. Actually, if you're watching this video, they're all updated. If you're watching this video,
yeah.
But like by the time you're watching this, I got a brand new. I got a brand new profile picture.
It is cool. I will not lie.
I got artwork by my good friend. They go by either Mood Goring or Spookios. Pretty sure I've said their real name on stream, but just out of respect, unless they say so, I'm not gonna say it. Spookios, yeah.
What kind of Halloween spaghetti-o bullshit is that?
So it's based. So Lucio's is it's like Cheerios but cereal, and it was like Spookios for Halloween. So it's just the whole bit. But yeah, what do you have?
A puzzle music box.
For
Final Fantasy X.
But also, so like I've updated the artwork, I've updated files, I've updated my banner, and also something I did which hasn't shown on camera yet, I got the time recording this, I also updated where my links are showing. It's no longer that spirit bomb looking thing, and now it's like red aura, and then also I changed the font where it says like my camera's off. So I was doing that. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I was up all night. I was not able to sleep. I changed all my stuff, and yeah, and that's pretty much what I've just been focusing on. And even then, like, even beforehand, I've been trying to focus more on the channel with, like, A Plague Tale: Innocence. I've been trying to get that going, keep going. I literally, within, like, the last, like, 24 hours, recorded, like, 3 of the episodes.
My media consumption right now has kind of been a little wonky, because I got Gears of War beat. I'm excited I got Gears of War beat. I've been playing Hogwarts Legacy, and I've been playing Subnautica. But on top of that, I've also beaten Blair Witch. I went and beat Remothered. Dude, that was a weird fucking game.
You told me about that game. Like, you played the game, and literally you were like, dude, like, I'd never said this about a video series before. I never tell you, like, hey, go watch this, but please go watch this. I have not watched it yet, but I'm waiting until you have it out so I can just binge it while you're drawing or something.
It's all out.
Oh, it's all okay.
Yeah,
yeah. I'll binge it sometime.
I want to say it's like, let me go look really quick because I have.
Here's the only thing. You told me that you wanted to probably play it at some point on the channel.
I do, but then at the exact same time, I want you to experience what I experienced as I was experiencing it, because it's so fucking weird. I'm gonna, you know what? I'll tell you
sure.
I'll tell you the part that was just the weirdest part. So
I mean, you can just send me the clip if you want to. Like send me the video and the timestamp, so that way I can like see it in person.
Yeah, I'll just say it now. Then you can go look for it. So,
okay.
I'll do a quick quick intro of it. We're gonna go get a Plague Tale. I have other games I've been playing too, but basically, you are like a detective lady. Not entirely sure what she is. She's like we'll say detective lady. I'm not sure what Rosemary actually was, but you go check on this dilapidated old man who's like, Martha, bring me my pudding. Very unkempt, can't take care of himself, has a housemaid. Housemaid leaves, she breaks back in, and he's crazy. And he's walking around his house with a sickle.
Crazy.
For one, a sickle.
You locked me in a room.
A rubber room. And,
rubber room.
Danger, this is the worst part. You know what he was wearing?
Something, right? He was wearing something?
Almost.
Almost.
He was wearing...
Surely he has something on.
He had a green apron. And that's it. He's walking around with his ass hanging out. And just a green apron in the front. And for like the first 3 episodes, I'm being chased by him. He's just like, old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he had a sickle, E-I-E-I-O. It was so weird. It was so weird.
So funny.
God, dude, I'm not even kidding. Go watch it. Even if we never play it, you need to see it.
I'll watch it.
Then also I've been playing through Walking Dead by Telltale, because I love that one. I always play it each year.
Nice.
Final Fantasy 13, Danger. I'm going to have to mail you a Final Fantasy, my Xbox 360 version of Final Fantasy 13, because you don't have the PS3 version of Final Fantasy 13. And Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. I've been watching a lot of that stuff on that, the trailers and stuff, because they dropped a new trailer. Dude, that was such a good fucking trailer.
I have not seen it yet.
I have a 40-minute video pointing out so many details of it. Do not watch it.
I saw that you talking about the trailer.
I spoiled a lot of stuff because I talk way later stuff. If you don't want the whole game spoiled because I bitch, don't watch it. People out there, go check out KH Hauser. Go check out Danger too, but he does nothing Final Fantasy related right now. He has 2 episodes of Final Fantasy on his channel. But go check out Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth on mine because I do a reaction and a deep dive. Danger?
Yes.
Plague Tale Innocence has one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. Literally today, I caught myself accidentally humming. I was just doing chores and I was humming the song and I was like, dang, this song is stuck in. This song lives rent free in my head and it has been, especially because again, for the past maybe 12 hours now, I've been hearing the song for 6 of them. So it's in my head. So everyone, if you're watching this, my playthrough is already out. But in it, the credits were rolling. But I let the credits roll. I let them play. The music was great, and so I went ahead and let them roll.
Yeah, by the time this is done, Danger will have his series up. I've played through the game twice on my channel. I have the initial run, and then I have another day where I just sat down and played the whole game in one day.
Yeah, I try to do it as fast as you can.
No, I didn't speed run it that time.
Yeah, but I mean, you knew what you were doing better, so it was a faster run. I imagine.
I think it was 8.5 hours, maybe 8.9.
Yes, that's probably faster than what it was.
Yeah, 842.
If you want to know my run, just add all the videos time together because they're not edited, and I never played it off camera. So if you want to know any of the, just add all the time of the videos I have. I think
you probably spent 8 or 9 hours on it. It's not a long game.
Probably
that one. Requiem's a long game. It's like a 20-hour game. Innocence is 10. But we're going to discuss Plague Tale Innocence, a personal favorite of mine, and fun story when it goes down to it. First time I saw Plague Tale Innocence, all I saw was the picture, the little promo picture that you all see in the middle of the screen right now. Well, if you're on, right now we're going to wait for Spotify. Spotify will have you guys up at the beginning of 2024. I'm going to say that right now. At 2024, I'm going to break down, spend another $90 to put it on Spotify.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah, right? I saw this, like, oh, that's interesting. I read the synopsis, more or less. It's like, girl and brother fight rats? That's so fucking stupid. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And then I was on Facebook watching stuff, and I saw a clip of it. Plague Tale. That sounds very familiar. And it's later in the game where you, like, the first time you actually have to hit the bodies back in the war area.
Mm-hmm.
Right before you meet Melly and Arthur. That was the first gameplay I saw. I was like, huh. This is kind of interesting. You know what? I'll buy it. So I spent $40, bought it, and I do not regret it. It's become one of my favorite games.
It's awesome. Question: when did you figure out this game existed? Was it this year?
No.
Alright, so it was a while ago.
If we go look, I'm going to say this. If we look right now,
because I remember this game being announced for the first time. Is the thing I remember this game being announced. And I was like, it looks interesting. And then I remember the second one being announced at I think it was E3. It was either E3 or Game Awards.
Let's see, I played it in
something.
I played it in 2021 whenever I first started. Right around now, September 29th was the first time I played it. So right around now, 2 years ago. But I had it bought earlier that summer. I just never downloaded it.
Mm-hmm.
So as 2021 was whenever I bought it. So probably beginning of 2021, end of 2020 was whenever I first saw it.
Okay.
Like, I didn't just find this game. I've had this game for a while.
Because this game, I never, like, looked into it yet. I still knew stuff about it because it was just a popular game. And, dude, the whole time I was playing it, very Last of Us vibes. Very much Last of Us vibes.
Yeah, I even said that.
It's not a bad thing. It's not like...
I think even in the big stream I had, I even mentioned, you play it like, it's a lot like The Last of Us, just a lot... The AI is not as intuitive as the Last of Us AI is. That's smart. That's smart in case people don't know what intuitive means.
Yeah. But it was super fun. It was super cool. I loved the game.
Same. That's why I've played it a few times. I need to play through Requiem again. Requiem is God. I'll say honestly, Requiem I forgot came out this year, and after I played it again, and 16 again, I also played through Final Fantasy 16. I'm also going to be starting Silent Hill again, probably next week. Danger's favorite game on Games and Gamers.
Absolutely not. There's a reason that there's so much drama around that video to this day.
People were nice and not putting a lot of hate comments on there. They were just giving a lot of hate comments on a Facebook page, bitching at me. Because Danger, did I ever give you all the information on what it was?
You did not. You gave quite a bit of information, but I don't think you mentioned it on Games and Gamers.
No, I didn't, because this was prior to the... Okay,
yeah, this was after. I think this was after
this was
our last video, no?
Yeah, this was after the Kakarot.
Well, hey, if you want to talk about it, go ahead.
In the midst of Kakarot. We're going to start the game here in a minute. If you want to go, just skip ahead like 5 minutes, unless you want to hear the drama. So I went to a Silent Hill Facebook page. I'm not going to say the name of it, because they're decent people in there sometimes, so I'm not going to go hate on the page. I'm going to hate on specific people. Not even specific people. I'm going to hate on the people that tried to hate on me. So I went to the Facebook page. Hey, guys, we played the first ever Silent Hill on an emulator. We did emulator, so that's one flaw that they hated on us for. We didn't play it on the original console. Give me $250 and I'll absolutely play it on console. I want to. But I told them we reviewed this game, come check it out. So people's like, okay, fresh take, fresh play. Yeah, both of us have never played it before. Danger got a lot of hate. Because
I'm sure I did.
Here's the worst part. You got a lot of hate. I got more hate. They quickly... Here's how
I actively said that I do not like the game.
No, I know that. I don't.
What happened?
So they were trying to figure out. Hayden's the one they hate. They hate me. They don't know specifically which one, voice-wise, is me. But you know. But they were basically saying you hating the game is. One, you're a bitch because you cannot play tank controls. That's what a lot of them said. It's like, he's playing fucking tank controls with an analog stick? Has this man never played a good game in his life? It's like a lot of people bitching on you for not playing with...
So funny.
It is. And here's my thing on it. One, I said the wrong thing in the beginning of it. I claimed to it. I said they dodged a monster. Instead, they dodged Alesso. And then I corrected like 2 episodes later. That's on me, for one. But two... They basically said, I gave the game good praise. But at the same time, I didn't give it enough praise. And I gave it too much praise.
The fact that you gave it praise at all is too much, I gotta say.
I mean, I like the game.
Sorry to anyone out there who's listening and enjoy the game.
I like Silent Hill.
I'm glad you do. I'm glad you do, and anyone listening, if you enjoy the game, that's great for you. You play it, you love it, that's awesome. I'm glad someone out there loves the game, and I'm glad there's a community.
Here's how it all went. I basically said this.
I don't care.
I said it, and I was like, man, I like this game. But at the same time, it's not a good game. I like it. I even said it's not a good game. It's not a great game.
Because you can tell when you're biased towards something.
Yeah. It's a good game.
That is one thing.
Like,
I even admit whenever, like, I'm biased towards something. Like, Sonic games, I'm biased, dude. I'm so biased to Sonic games.
Sonic 06 sucks.
Sonic 06 is great.
God, no. God,
it's awesome.
It's sat on my floor.
Watch someone turn around and be like, wow, so you hate Silent Hill but love Sonic 06? You have your priorities in the wrong area.
Yeah, but anyway, continuing with that, they basically saying, I gave the game, I believe, was a fair vote. 6 out of 10. It's a game that I think you should play at least one time in your life, if not have some sort of experience with in your life at least once. I feel like is the right way to go about it. And people are like, no, this is a 10 out of 10 game. You didn't play it enough. I played through the game 4 separate times before we got to Games and Gamers, recording it.
Yeah, that's already way too many in my opinion.
I did it for all the endings except for the stupid gag.
The thorough review.
Yeah. That and I really wanted to play it. So I played good, bad.
Because you actually liked the game. Yet you somehow got more hate than me when I'm the one saying,
because
hey, this game is not good. In my opinion.
Oh, you got hate just for that right there. But the thing was, I liked it. I didn't like it enough. That's why they were bitching at me. That you gave it praise, but you didn't like it enough. You gave it a 6. Every issue I named, they'd be like, this isn't an issue, which is basically storytelling-wise. Story's not there. We have to play through it a few times to understand it. Not everyone's going to play through it a few times to understand it. He's a prime example. Well, what about all these characters? Well, they don't have a whole lot of meaning to the story. You met Dr. Kaufman once through the entire game.
He was in and he was out. Like,
yeah. Sybil meant nothing. Can help. All these characters help, but they don't mean a whole lot. I talked good about the world, and then I also talked bad about the world. I talked basically the fact that I was more or less perfectly in the middle of it all is why they were bitching at me. It's like, you can't be like it's bad and then say it's good. And then I even pointed out, like, one of the people in there would comment, you know, he's right. It's a good game for specific people. It's a niche game. Silent Hill is a niche game. Silent Hill 2, later ones aren't, but 1 is. And that's where, like, he's right. It's a niche game. Whoa, how dare you? And I'm also going to say this. I'm going to cause more hate.
Sure. You know what? Start of the pool, and then I got something to say afterwards.
Fine.
Sure, go ahead.
People out there who claimed that PS1 games are the greatest game ever made, because I've been seeing a lot of Kudelka, Parasite Eve, Silent Hill, Resident Evil, Shadow Hearts, all these older games that they're saying is gaming died after this, or this here is the most pinnacle of what games actually are. You guys are sad. Games are meant to be surpassed. You don't play one game, this is the greatest game ever made. Parasite Eve, great game. Kudelka, I don't want to play it. I do, okay. I want to play it, I haven't played it. It's $330 for my game store, but I want to play it. Shadow Hearts, Legends of Dragoon, Breath of Fire. It's okay if you like these games, but do not belittle newer games because you are stuck in the past. Games are meant to surpass them, and it doesn't matter if it's the most... It doesn't matter. They're a good game, and don't hate on people for liking it. Final Fantasy 16 got a lot of hate if you said you like it. It's my second favorite Final Fantasy. I get hate because I like it. They're annoying. Like what you like. Danger.
I mean, yeah, no. So one thing, I've said this almost every other video. I'm gonna like we're not gonna be sitting here praising every single game that gets put in front of us. We're not gonna be like, oh yeah, this is a good game. One thing, this is not a professional thing. This is not a scripted thing. Like people are like, oh, this channel is not that good. Oh, this channel is.
Oh shit! I dropped the script.
No, the script. Oh, hold on.
Hold on. Here's how we gotta tear it. Okay, I tore the script just for you, Danger.
Hold on. Gosh, man, I hate the script. All right, anyway, so here we go. So I do not use anyway, I'm gonna get rid of the script anyway. But we don't use scripts. We're not professional. We're talking our mind. We're being honest. So it's like, if you don't like it, you don't agree with it, sure, that's fine. Not everyone's gonna agree with everything. If you come in here and disagree with something, we're not gonna like, oh, you disagree with it, oh, we don't like you, blah blah blah. Like, people have different opinions. For example, like, Hayden loves Silent Hill. I don't. I love Spider-Man, PlayStation 4, and I love like Mario games. Not his favorite, but clearly we're on different levels of like different games and stuff. Even Kakarot, a Dragon Ball game, so already I'm very biased towards it. Even me being biased was like, it was fun. It was definitely fun, but it felt like, it's...
Yeah.
We're going to be honest. We're going to tell y'all what we think. And y'all can disagree with it, sure, but you can't say, like, yeah, you're wrong, your thought is wrong. Unless it's, like, factual. If it's factual, right?
Like, I made a mistake. I made the mistake on what it was. That's factual. You say you're wrong on that, that's me. But if he's saying
sure.
He likes Spider-Man. I don't. I say the game sucks. He says it's great. You don't get on to me because I don't like it.
Yeah, because you don't like the game.
Yeah.
I can tell you're wrong for not like, oh, you don't like the game? That's a wrong answer. Just like the game. Liking the game is the right answer. You don't like the game. So it's like, because, example, I love Sonic. And so I'll be told by other people that, like, wow, like, Sonic is genuinely, like, there's a difference between Sonic is a bad game and you shouldn't, like you liking Sonic is the wrong answer. Like, those two different things. In my personal opinion, being honest, I don't think Sonic's as bad of a game as it is. But, are there problems? Yes. Are there problems? Yes. But I don't think it's as bad as people lean on to be. But that's my opinion. So if you disagree with it, if you want, I mean, everything's on the table. I'm not gonna. Someone doesn't agree with us talking about Silent Hill. I love how we're like 3 episodes later, and we're 2 episodes, 3 episodes later.
Come on, dude. Silent Hill right now is our most popular one. It's got to come back every once in a while.
We're still talking, bro. Yeah, dude. Anyway,
this is how impactful this game is to both of us.
Yeah,
we talk about it. It's
so funny. It is still to this day the worst episode in my opinion. Not the episode itself, but the game. Yeah. In my opinion, but yeah.
You're gonna hate later ones. I'm gonna tell you this right now. You're gonna hate Kudelka. Yeah. Kudelka, you're gonna hate. The bouncer.
It's inevitable. Us wanting to play games. The whole point. He's pogging. He's pogging. Guys, okay. Breaking news. Hayden's pogging.
This is gonna be the stupidest shit ever. But Danger, there is an old PS2 game, like one of SquareSoft's. This is SquareSoft, not Square Enix. SquareSoft. One of their first PS2 games coming to my house tomorrow. It's called The Bouncer for the PS2. It's a 2-hour game. You can speed run it, and it's like 22, 23 minutes for the speed run.
That's funny.
And I forgot it's coming in. People out there, be prepared. The Bouncer will be here. I'm going to stream it. Or we'll record it, because I may be able to literally just do chunk by chunk. I'm sorry, Danger.
Here we are 30 minutes later.
25. 25.
25. My bad.
We gotta always do this. But yeah,
no. One thing is about this channel. Whenever both with me, I'm saying it again, I'm just saying it because it's part of the thing. Like, me doing YouTube and then us doing Games and Gamers, I'm stepping into this because, like, it's just to give out my, like, thoughts, opinions, and things that I love. With Games and Gamers, I think it's super awesome because we get to play games. We get to talk about games. We get to learn more about games. We get to learn more of what we love, more of what we hate. And so, Hayden will pull up a game saying, hey, I bet you never heard of this. And then, like, there's like, dang, that is not a game I've heard of. And then I end up either loving it or hating it. It's going to be one or the other. But over time, what
I just randomly, you said that. It's a Street Volume 2 for the GameCube.
Cool, man. Love GameCube.
Talking about games you've never heard of. I'm sitting over here looking. Yeah. Minion, don't you fucking do it. You did it once.
But yeah, so I mean, if you all enjoy listening, that's awesome. If y'all don't like listening, I mean, I'm very sorry. If you want to move along your way, that's all good.
Just wait for another game. We're
gonna
play a lot of games.
You can.
If somebody will play them faster.
If you want to agree with us or disagree with us or give your opinions, I love like talk down below if y'all have an opinion on something. Or if you want to recommend a game, it doesn't guarantee that we will play it, but I mean, you can say an idea down below,
or hell,
and then one of us pog seeing it. Yeah, like if you want to put a game down below, put it down below. There's no guarantee we'll be able to play it sooner than later, or if ever. But I mean, hey, doesn't mean you can't throw a game down below if you want
Like
to.
I said, all else fails if Games Gamers doesn't do it. One of us will play it. If you go say, let's play Mario Sunshine. Hell, I'll go look see if Mario's Sunshine's $85 on Amazon.
I would need a video capture, but I have the 3D All Stars. I would love to play 64 in Sunshine and Galaxy.
You know what my dad got
stream.
me? He got me Mario All Stars for the Wii.
Nice. Oh, that's super cool.
I have it on the Nintendo.
Nice.
They was the nastiest fucking cases I've ever seen. They were so bad. But next Friday, or Friday or Saturday, I'm going to go with my dad. We're going to go to this guy's storage unit because he may have other PS1 games. I'm hoping he has Kudelka and Shadow Hearts. Games Danger's never even heard of. At least as far as I know. Have you heard of either one of those?
I think I heard...
Kudelka?
What was the other?
You have Kudelka and Shadow Hearts.
Not that one. Shadow Heart, I feel like I've heard before, but I have not heard of... I think I've heard of Shadow Heart before, but the other one, no.
Kudelka, it's a PS1 game.
Alright.
I'm
pretty sure I've heard of Shadow Heart.
It's basically Final Fantasy and Resident Evil had a weird baby.
Got it.
Alright, so, Plague Tale, Innocence.
Here we are, 30 minutes later. Hello, everybody. Well,
25 minutes. We'll trim out some of this.
Sure.
So,
I mean, here's the thing, though. Again, it's having fun with it. It's having fun with it, and at the end of the day, like that's what I want to do is have fun with it.
We're gonna have fun with it. We're gonna have fun with it. And that's how Games of Gamers is. That's all it is at this point.
Yep.
We'll have this and Dokkan Wen going on just because it's I do it. I have fun with it. That's the whole point of it. Games of Gamers.
Yeah.
I love video games. I have a Buster Sword. I have a Keyblade. I have a Tonberry. I have a Nintendo shelf. A Wii shelf.
Jeez.
PS4, PS3, Xbox 360. Danger can't even see it over there. But I have an Xbox 360 shelf right there next to my Kingdom Hearts Keyblade. I'm a gamer. And my camera's blurry. But Plague Tale Innocence. It's a game made by Asobo, and it was like one of I think their actual first or second big title game. Like, this was the first one that really got them on the map, and Plague Tale Requiem really did that. We're not going to talk about Requiem until a little later. I'll compare it to, just say some things are done better, because I'm sure there are going to be some complaints. I have complaints about the first one after playing the second one. But Plague Tale Innocence is a game that takes place in, what was it, 1347? 48? I want to say it was 1348. It's not saying right here a specific time. It's early 1300s. It's the first half of the 1300s. So, you and Amicia... Actually, do I have my notes up? Oh, I don't have my notes anymore. Damn it! But, you play as a girl named Amicia Daroon, who is Danger. Fun fact, she is a 15-year-old. So all the shit that happens to her, she's a small child, and all this happens to her in this game.
1348.
I was right! But yeah, I found this out. She is 15. It makes me feel even more sad for her.
Oh yeah, no, like 100%. Dude, the game gives feels.
Dude,
like hard.
And after this game, in 6 months, we're gonna play Requiem, because that's the difference between 6 months difference. So,
got it.
We're gonna buy it. You're gonna buy it.
Got it.
Thank you. Thank you for not even arguing, just saying yes. But anyway, so you start off with Amicia and her father, Robert Daroon, running through a forest, and they're just chatting with each other. Amicia wants to go take on the Knight's Challenge. Right out of the gate, you see this game. It is gorgeous! My God, it's... The only problem is the people look awful. They look so bad.
The models do look a little older, and even if you go... Even though it is 2019... They still do look a little bit older, though. They do look like PS4 or Xbox 360 looks.
They look more like PS2 models. I'll be honest. So, I'm thinking like
I would say they're that.
Like the latter end of PS2. That's what they look like. I wouldn't PS3 maybe, but that's like early PS3. The people look awful. The people don't look the best. The world looks amazing. So that right there, I think I love the worlds of it. So
I do think the characters were done pretty good, in my opinion. Anyway, I think they were done pretty good.
They look fine. It's just they don't have a whole lot of animation to them. They talk. Oh my God!
Hugo!
Yeah. We have to run now.
Yeah, like if you were comparing it to other games from 2019, then yeah.
People don't like it. You compare it all of it. It doesn't look like people don't look best, but the world looks great. So you run on through. You find this apple tree, which is the massive thing to do the Knight's Quest, and then you are introduced to the combat style of Amicia, which is David and Goliath. She has a sling and she chunks rocks. Ooh, excuse me. So you complete this challenge. I think Danger and I both did the challenge. We hit all the apples, didn't we?
I believe I did, maybe.
You basically just, all of Robert says is, better luck next time if you fail, pretty much. So
okay, then yeah, then I did hit all of them.
Yeah, you have Robert, Amicia, and her dog, Leon, running on through. You do all this, you hit the thing, and after you're done with this, Robert's like, oh, you are a true knight, and Leon starts barking at something and takes off, and so Amicia follows. You follow on through this gorgeous landscape, and you come across a little boar. It goes through the combat stealth aspect of it, where you have the little dial above the enemies saying, oh, they notice you. Danger, I'm gonna bitch at you because you pissed me off when I watched you play. You pissed me off so bad. In this stealth game, you pissed me off.
Part 7 is gonna be the worst for you. Part 7 is gonna be the worst.
No, because later on you have to do a little more combat. But early on, you are literally like, well, there's people in front of me. I'ma just kill them instead of saving resources. I'm gonna kill them. But there's literally a big open thing right there. And I'll bitch at the first part in here in a little bit. Anyway, you follow on through, you see this pig, you kill this boar, you hit it in the head, boar plays dead, then it runs off whenever Robert catches up. You run on through till you find a dilapidated, broken down. The beginning part of it is bright and cheery, orange, greens, yellows, bright colors. Then you go to a dilapidated, black, slimy, tar, bless you, color. As Leon is chasing it down. You run on through, you find the pig torn apart. And this is the point at which you realize this game is gruesome. Oh, yeah.
It led very early on that
this is like the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, that you're not getting monetized. You're not getting monetized playing this.
No, because you see this pig. Its head is torn open. Its guts are spilling out. It's chewed to the bone, and it was literally alive 2-3 minutes ago. I'm assuming let's say in the game it's been 10 minutes. You got to chase it down for a couple minutes. Let's just say that because time transitions differently. Then you follow in a little further, and you hear Leon yelping. You find him half buried in a hole, and Amicia's like, oh, my poor dog. What has done this to you? And next thing you know, a geyser of blood shoots up, and poor Leon gets drugged to his death. This is within 3 minutes of finding the dead pig carcass. So yeah, this is not a friendly game. Games of gamers, if you don't want to hear some gruesome stuff, turn off now. Otherwise, Danger, we're gonna have to make a PG version of this.
There is no.
The pig was dead. There was some red jelly coming out of it. The dog got eaten into the ground by a mouth monster.
It's gruesome.
It is. Like, honestly, there's some later parts in it that is very gruesome. Like the church, where you met Father Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, Robert goes...
A lot of OGs in the game. A lot of OGs.
Yeah. It's a good game. No matter what, it's a great game. So anyway, you go back to the house, you start their little, like, it's not it is a castle, but it's not a castle. It's basically like a big old, what would you call that? It's not a castle.
I mean, it's like a miniature castle. It's a smaller one.
Let's call it a villa. It's a villa. That's what they have.
A villa. I feel like it's just considered a very small castle, but I guess, yeah.
I think that is what is a small castle? Is that a villa? Whatever it is. Let's just say itty-bitty castle. Itty-bitty castle.
You keep talking, I'm gonna be the Google man.
So, you go on through, you start talking. Amicia, one part I like about this is you walk on through, you can find some collectibles. Danger didn't, as far as I know he didn't. Like in the opening a little bit, but you kind of get the feeling of how the Daroons deal with their people, because everybody's friendly with Amicia. Amicia is friendly with you. Oh, Miss Daroon, how are you today? You have one person, Lady Daroon, I have these targets set up for you for the sling for your back. Like, everybody's friendly to her, and I like the fact that she's polite back, because that right there gives a lot of credibility to the Daroons. Danger doesn't, as far as I know, that means squat to him, but I like that little small detail of how nice they actually are, especially because it leads into something a little later. So, going into the house, Robert Daroon told you, go find your mother. Tell her that we are going to send out the hounds. I feel like that sounded more German than French. But, you go on in.
It's
one of those two.
I mean, it did. It sounded like French, but just sounded very aggressive. So I see what you're talking about. I see what you're talking about where it says you're saying it sounds German. It's just a very aggressive French.
And also, this takes place in France, so everybody has like strong, like my niece played it and was like, man, they sound so weird. My youngest niece. Why do they sound weird, Uncle Hayden? One, don't call me uncle. That's weird. But two, it's France. Oh, she's 10. France is over there, right? I love my family. We're all a bunch of idiots. So anyway, you go on into the house and you start kind of hearing from the people, like, Beatrice and all these people that, hey, not Beatrice, that's the name of the mother. I cannot remember. Gabrielle, that's her name, Gabrielle. Basically, like, Beatrice is upstairs. Boy had another spell. Don't know what the spell is. He's sick. That's all we know. You go up the stairs. You find Beatrice. And as you're talking to Beatrice, you begin hearing commotion outside. You look outside. Oh, Beatrice looks outside and tells you, okay, go stay with your brother. I'm going to go take care of this. I believe. I think that it's Amicia saw Robert get killed as with Hugo, I think. No, it wasn't. I have it backwards. Beatrice and Amicia looked outside and saw Robert get decapitated. Beatrice said, go to your brother, as she ran off. You find Hugo, a little 5-year-old boy, which makes it even worse because he's 5. These people are like, I knew he was 5, but it's just something about him being so young is kind of sad, especially for all the shit they go through. Yeah. And then thinking for 2 makes it even worse. So you meet Hugo. They haven't ever messed with each other, and then you do your first stealth aspect as the house gets attacked by the Inquisition. Stealthing as you walk on through people getting killed. Just, like, death, and they're asking, where is Hugo de Rune? That is the name of the brother. I don't know if I said that, but Hugo de Rune is the brother, and they're looking for Hugo the entire time you stealth your way through the house. And this is where I was saying you go into the, I like the way they treat the people. Like the Darunes do, because people are like, they are good people. We're not going to give them up. And I like that, because you have some stories where, oh, they treat us like shit. He's up there. They love him enough because they treat him well enough. They're not going to give him up. They will die rather than give up. And I love that little small detail that I picked up on.
It shows that like
they care.
They care and protect their people. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like
also, it's called either a motte or a bailey. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Motte, a motte or a bailey, is what a small castle is called.
Motte. It's called a bailey because I know I won't mispronounce that. You know what? It's a Maddie. I'll mispronounce it. It's a Maddie.
Maddie. Oh boy, here we go. here come flying the hate.
I think it is a motte.
Wrong vowel. Yeah, it's either a motte or a bailey.
So you go through the house, do some stealth stuff, see people being killed, and as you leave the house, the villa. I'll say a villa, the Bailey. Beatrice saves you from a guard, and then you go through another stealth section, learning more about the mechanics of the game. You hide in tall grass from the people. You pick up pots, pick up rock, to throw them away to distract them. You pick up rocks, hit pieces of metal. Danger failed because he was sitting there like I saw him in the first episode. Like, how do I throw this rock? And Amicia is bobbing up and down.
I was like, what do I do? I was like, that's clearly not the trigger that I'm supposed to click. Like, that's not what I'm supposed to do. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah. Also, I wanted to tell you, you should have played it with controller the whole way through. It's a hell of a lot easier than mouse and keyboard.
It was easier a bit later. Everything is easier except sometimes the aiming. Sometimes the aiming is annoying with the controller. It feels weird. It auto locks on so one thing, even like one of the recent ones is like I was trying to hit a guy in front of me, but I ended up hitting the guy towards the back, or I'm trying to hit a torch and I ended up accidentally hitting a guy because with the mouse you can quickly just move on over. With the controller it kind of just auto locks you onto a character. And that kind of was annoying.
I mean, to each their own. I prefer the controller in all of it.
Yeah, I prefer the controller. I do prefer the controller. I'm a controller player, but it did throw me off sometimes. It did end up screwing me sometimes.
So as you go on through all this, you make your way to the back part of the house. And the funniest part is I saw it on stream and noticed it. Like, you have this very small, insignificant detail. But the day changes like that. It goes from bright, sunny, not a cloud to the sky, to just pouring down rain.
Yeah.
I laughed at that. That's useless. Anyway, so you make your way on through. You begin to one way through it. You have to go into a window, and Hugo has a little spell, a migraine, headache, whatever you want to call it, and you realize there's shit wrong with this boy. Beatrice helps calm him down, and then you're thinking, okay, we're gonna have to keep an eye on him. Even Danger in his thing said, I'm gonna have to keep an eye on him. This will be a mechanic I have to do to keep him calm. You were wrong, by the way. So. And then they make their way to a door. They get saved by one of the servants. And you see a big man, Lord Nicholas, who's a big old iron knight man, come charging at you on a horse. And Beatrice shoves Amicia and Hugo through the door. You see a sword stab on through. And then Amicia's like, Hugo, we have to run. And so they book it, getting chased. And as they're chased, the ground begins to rumble, rumble, rumble. People are screaming as they're getting chased. They hop in the river, end of Chapter 1. Chapter 1 is a good way to start the game because it gives you at least a taste of pretty much everything, 80% of what you're going to experience through the whole game. The good characters in there, the stealth, except you don't deal with combat to the same degree, but then you go to Chapter 2. Chapter 1's good intro, wouldn't you say, Danger? Any complaints about Chapter 1?
Nope, it was good. Also, throughout the series, I made a massive mistake. I kept calling, you see, I was referring to him as Batman, but no, he is more of Azrael. He's more of Azrael from Batman. So that's what I was thinking of, but I was like, I can't think of his name. I'm just going to say Batman. I'm going to commit to that. But yeah, no, he, especially later in the game, we see more of why he's like that.
So then now we're on to Chapter 2. Amicia and Hugo surface at the end, who knows how long, could have been a couple miles, it's probably a few miles down the river, at an old abandoned bazaar. And Hugo's like, oh, but Mummy will be so sad that I'm wet. She'll be so upset that I'm wet. Amicia, what do we do? Do not worry, Hugo, we're going to get some clothes, it'll be fine. She's not telling her brother that Beatrice has been killed. You know, she got stabbed through the door, oh no, Mommy died, that's why they ran.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, I was full. Yeah.
I was too. I
dude,
was too.
Stabbed with a sword that big all the way. Like, I'm just saying, dude.
Especially because
I'm pretty sure I would die the second it touched me.
Especially considering later on what that sword can actually do.
Yeah.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah. No. Like, jeez.
So. Go into this thing, and they're basically, okay, we gotta go find help, we'll take care of it. Amicia and Hugo start running around. After you get out of the water, you start running through the town. You see very few villagers, they look at you, and they book it into the houses, lock the door. You knock on doors, nobody's answering to you, you don't understand why. Run on a little further, and you see big white X's on doors, signifying sick people inside. Continue on further, you realize the village is fucking infested with the plague. And for those who don't know, this is the Black Plague. The bubonic, I think it was, yes, the Justinian Plague is the earlier one. The Black Plague is basically so bad, it wiped out, what was it, 70% of the population? Do you remember what it wiped out?
It wiped out around 70 to 80%. Like around like maybe 68 to 80%, I believe, and it got super close to just wiping out everyone.
I wish it did, but it
was bad, huh? It was bad.
I'll tell you in another day why I wish. But yeah, it's bad, and this is what the Black Plague is. So it's spreading right now. So they're basically scared of everything. They see smoke. That's why they're going further into the town, the village. And when they make it to the middle, they see like skewers, people getting burned at the stake, which is another point of the people don't look great, because there's a lady whose eye is busted and all that, and she's just, please, go get help. And then you see Conrad. Conrad was I guess, the first antagonist of the game. He's a big old man who fought in a war, big old buff man whenever he spoke, which is why I'm saying they don't look the best. He's just, ugh. His mouth is just moving up and down. His anime voices, anime mouthing. I'm sitting here as if people can see it. I'm being stupid on camera for no reason. I'm entertaining Danger. But it basically says, you are the ones who brought the plague into our village. Kill them. You have a run sequence. You run for a while, you lose them. They find you, you run a little more, you lose them. They find you, you run a little more, You lose him by running into another house that's in a dead end by a little old lady named Clairvy. I loved Clairvy. She was such a sad, happy character. I felt so bad for her because her grandkids died. Everybody she knows, her family's dead. She's the last one of her family. It's really sad.
Yeah.
So in there, there's a bug on me. In there, she tells Amicia and Hugo, go change. I had grandkids that looked like they'd fit you. Amicia changes into her cool little like makeshift survivor gear, and Hugo changes into his also little makeshift survivor gear. Not as much as a little boy gear. So she come on down. She begins explaining stuff, and Hugo is sitting over there banging a hammer on the floor, and oh no, I'm missing the upgrade part. Clairvy's like, oh, you have a sling? You better go upgrade it. There's pieces outside. You go outside, get yourself a piece of leather, one tool, and you get to introduce it into the upgrade system of this game. I like the upgrade system in this game because how you do it changes how you play this game. Because initially you have like 10 upgrades, 2 for the sling, 3 for the ammunition bag. Mm-hmm. And my way now that I do it, I always upgrade the ammunition stuff, but I always upgrade materials. Because the more materials you have, the more upgrades you can get. Then later, like, and everybody plays it differently. Like, I think on the last one I had everything upgraded to 2 was the last time I actually had it played. Like, all the things, I had the final one not upgraded. Maybe I had one of them. I had this sling speed where you can actually, how fast it goes and locks on, upgraded to 3. And it just changes the way. Unless, as far as I know, you can't max it. And if I can, let me know. If you can, let me know. I want to play the game.
I feel like you can, because I got a bunch of upgrades done, but I also crapped, so like the like saving things from both like humans and rats, like the saving thing, those require those materials that you can use for the upgrade parts that I was lacking on. So I think you can get all the upgrades.
We probably have to do find all the Alchemist carts and stuff like that.
I think you need to find everything and also not use a bunch of revive things. I think you need to you got to be good at the game to get everything.
Yeah.
Or just be very durable, and if you die 10 times over, you die 10 times over. You don't bother getting a saving thing.
Yeah.
Because I crafted quite a few saving things, just because that dying over and over was a little annoying.
Yeah. This is where I bitch at you on how you play. Because so many times you could have gone any other route. But no. Like the Luminosa, you crafted 4 of them in 10 minutes. And I was pissed off. Luminosa.
That was great. Yeah.
And also, you could not pronounce Ignifer right at all.
Luminos.
You kept saying Ignifier, and it was wrong, and it was bothering me.
Ignifier. Ignifier.
So, anyway, basically, after all that, Clairvy begins explaining everything, and you hear the guards come back to the end, and we got to find them. We must find them, or they dissipate at this end of the forest. This is part of the village. Hugo's banging on a hammer, and then Hugo and Amicia get into a little argument, and Amicia spills the beans, and oh no, Mummy died. Hugo's like, you are lying! I hate you! And runs off. Then you have another chase sequence following Hugo. I genuinely love how this little sequence goes because of how it actually is. So you chase Hugo, you find him caught by a man, and you see them, and he's like, look, we're going to kill you, and Amicia. God, ugh. And Amicia gets her sling and kills a person. And Hugo runs up the hill. I love this because the music stops. The music is great the entire time through. It's like a good cello, violin, stuff like that. No, as far as I know, not a lot of it's woodwinds, nothing brass. And keep the music for very what it is. And I like that. And you have this little sequence of killing a person. The music stops. But you cannot relish that moment. You killed a person. Amicio's sitting there, oh my god, I killed a person. But she cannot stop and wait, because literally you run up a hill after your brother 10 seconds later to kill another person. You kill Conrad. You fight him in a fun little boss fight. What do you think about that little chunk, Danger?
The boss fights are fun in the game.
They are. It's smart. It's smarter than just hit them 5 times and you're done.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the boss fight was fun. I love the execution of... One, you're in this area, right? You're in this area. It's tight. It's narrow. Each path is like an alleyway. You were stuck in this maze of a town, clearly you know like things are bad because there's just white X's everywhere. People are slamming their doors and windows. And then you get to, and again, this game is gruesome because then you run into people that are burning people at the stake. And then you're like, oh, hey, there they are. And you're set on a running path. You're like, oh, boy, I'm in a maze and I got to go. I need to just keep going and hope I don't run into a dead end as I keep on going.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was good there. Finding the place with the old home, very sad. It was very nice. And then eventually, dispute. Siblings are always going to dispute. One thing is, like, the siblings disputed throughout many times. And, trying to, like, in the end, Amicia still wants to, like, get Hugo, like, to protect Hugo and keep him safe.
Yeah.
And so,
one thing I forgot to mention, I'll let you continue, I am sorry. Beatrice tells him to go find Laurentius. He knows how to deal with Hugo at the end of chapter 1.
Yes. Running, and then, yeah, she, like, because, like, literally, she's never, like, she knows how to use a sling. She knows how to protect herself, but she's never had to, Mm-hmm. She's been within her, like, with like her family. There seemed like there was a bunch of either knights or people who knew how to use a sword at the very least. Around where she was, they were in a mate or a bailey, so there was no need. But now, being here, she had to finally take the first life and like her first life of someone, and yeah, no, that'll affect you. Mm-hmm. That'll screw you up. Like killing, because that person is gone. Yeah. And you were responsible. Even if they're an evil person, right? Even if they're an evil person, that's still a life that you took, and it could mess anyone up. I'm positive it could mess up most people if you're not already insane. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It is. And like I said, the fact of that I like it is you cannot relish the fact you killed somebody because you immediately hear Hugo start yelling for help again. Like, it's quiet, dead quiet for 10, 15 seconds at most.
Literally, now there's this guy full in a suit of armor, a mace, and or like a hammer or something, and this guy it was something big, and at first you don't know what to do because even at first I didn't know what to do. I just see this giant guy full of armor. I'm trying to hit him and nothing's working, nothing's getting him. It took me a minute to figure out, like, oh, there's these little weak points I could hit from behind. I didn't know that at first.
That's the thing.
I was like, this guy. In the beginning, this guy seems immortal. There's a bunch of rocks around, so clearly you're supposed to hit him with rocks. But what? And so it gives you this sense of literally. And here's one thing. At first, I was just like, oh, I just don't know what I'm doing. Like, I need to figure it out. Amicia doesn't know what she's doing. Mm-hmm. She is now in a box with this guy who. She just took a life, and that's what she knows how to do, and now what she knows how to do is not working. So yes, you don't know what to do at first whenever you're playing this, but she doesn't know what she's doing either, and so it kind of makes you feel that sense of what do I do.
You feel the connection with the characters the whole time through, because you don't know what's the first time through. That's why I love story-based video games, because if it's someone who doesn't know what's going on, you're in the exact same boat they are. You have to figure out this stuff too, like his boss fight.
That's something I loved, and it was fun. All the boss fight, that being a first boss fight, it's very let me phrase this. It's simple. It's very basic, but like it's good. It's done well. It's good for a first boss fight.
Right, because this game has
I consider it a boss fight. I consider it a boss fight. It's not a basic enemy. Yeah, it's not a basic enemy.
It's 3 because this game has 3 bosses through the entirety of it. Ooh, 3. Be scared, people. No. So, after that, you make your way inside of a church, and that's the end of Chapter 2. Chapter 3 starts you in the church, where Amicia is just kind of recoiling, but she cannot recoil. And what's great about this, people out there, I'm going to say this right now, Danger doesn't know this. The fact she cannot recoil is immaculate for what happens later. Danger doesn't know this. This is something I'm using my future vision for Games and Gamers Plague Tale Requiem. But she cannot recoil, and it's beautiful. Because she's like, hey, Hugo's 5. He doesn't understand stuff. He's like, we have to go. Yeah, we do have to go. And Amicia has to be the strong, independent protector of Hugo. I love Amicia as a character because she's done... this is going to sound wrong, but today's society, a lot of female protagonists have this stoic... They're Lightning from Final Fantasy 13. Badass, better than everybody, have no flaws. There's a lot of games where they're like that. But a movie, Cinema 2, has made it like that. Amicia is a child, for one. She's a girl done right, who, I don't know what I'm doing, but I know this is what I have to do, so she does it the best she can. She has flaws. She gets angry. She had an outburst at Hugo because he's being a child. The characters are done very well in this game to the point you believe it. Hugo's a child. Him sitting there doing...
It's very realistic.
Yeah,
it's very
him banging
realistic.
a hammer on the ground, and me, she's like, shut up, shut up, and him just bang, 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 bang. Like, they do very well with the characters and all the ways they handle it. So, anyway, you're in this church. You make your way out of the church onto a balcony, and you see a monk standing in the middle, and he's like, hey, no, you need to leave now. A little further in, you kind of realize this place is broken, dilapidated, completely abandoned, pretty much, except for this one man. You talk to him, and he's like, my name is Father Thomas. Why are you here? We need to find Laurentius. I was really hoping that Danger would never be able to pronounce any of these names. As far as I know, he can't. Because he struggles with pronouncing things sometimes, like Alessa from Silent Hill, which he never said her name right in the entire game. It's Alisa. It pissed me off. But you talk to Tom, and he's like, okay, fine, I'll help you, but you got to get out of here immediately. We got to go find the other brother in this place. You walk on in, he's explaining that, yeah, plague bad. There were many of us, but plague bad. People died. And you go to a room, and he's walking with a torch the whole time. Father Thomas did a stupid thing right here. He said, here, hold this torch. Handed it to Amicia and Hugo. It's my Harry Potter wand, by the way. Handed it to Amicia and Hugo. Walked in the middle of the room. The whole room shakes. And then, boom, it gets flooded with rats. Thousands upon thousands of rats. He gets eaten right in front of Amicia and Hugo. More on the greatness of nobody can react. They cannot drop this torch. The torch, they go at the rats do, and they cannot get to him because the light is protecting them. And it's another point of, I love how they react of, Amicia cannot react. She has to stay calm. She's a child and doing this. It's done so well. You make your way through this abandoned church.
I died way more times than I wish I did in the game.
My first time through, I did too. Don't worry. It's first time deaths. But you make your way through, you see Father Thomas eaten. Like, he's more or less just skin and bones. Not even, he's just bone, pretty much.
Oh, yeah, no, dude. Walking forward, and then it's, like, slowly revealing his body of just, like, yeah.
It's gruesome. Like I said, it's very much a gruesome scene.
This game is gruesome. It is.
Continue further on, you see the other monk. Makes no sense why he wasn't fully eaten, because he was buried by all the rats. It was just his only lower body eaten, and he's just sitting there just blah, dead. And they have more or less that same for all the monks. You see the other monks in there dead and eaten, but not to the same degree. So, run on through.
One thing is, I think it's purely just for, like, the looks of it.
It is. It is.
Like, I think that's purely what it is. Lore, I mean, I can't even think of an idea lore-wise why it would make sense. There's not. It's just to look creepy.
I mean, it definitely looks creepy, especially whenever you see it.
Like, it is.
Thomas, dead. You see them in the room, and it's all of them just dead, torn apart. It's great. They do very well on all of this. And more or less, his whole chapter is you just make your way through the this chapel, this church. You learn, and the crypt. You learn new things that fire gets rid of them, for one. Two, if there's hanging meat or carcasses, you can drop those, hit them with your rock. You can hit them with, because they're hung by a chain, hit them with a rock. Amicia's strong, by the way, for the fact she's breaking chains with a rock.
Yeah, no, that's not just a rock and a sling at that point. Like, she has strength to catapult a rock.
Yeah.
Fast enough and hard enough to hit those.
And you have...
And she's extremely lucky finding durable enough rocks over and over and over again. Because I'll tell you right now, not every rock is that durable, especially ones that you just find lying around. So the fact that she got so lucky that every rock she finds is that durable is crazy.
Especially like every one of them will kill a person too.
Yeah. Yeah, because again, not every rock will do that.
And one hit too.
Yeah.
She's David. She's David. The game is Goliath.
That's strength. Oh, that is intense strength right there. So, and I mean, she's been doing it ever since she was little, so it does make sense that she's so like proficient and like strong with it. So it does make sense. They explained it.
So
But
you make your way through the crypt. You learn if you hit slabs, they fall to the ground. Rats circle on. You can get out of there. You get torches. You walk with them. Torches are the best item in the game, but there's always some stupid reason you can't ever take a torch with you. And you have sticks that burn for 18 seconds. You light this stick, you walk for 18 seconds, it goes out, you're dead. But you can, if you can light the right things, you can continue going forward. And this whole chapter is literally just going through the crypt. At the end of the chapter, you get to see the rat's nest, which is just disgusting. It's a black tar meat bone sticking out of it. Like, there's no. I'm not gonna put a picture on screen because it's.
Yeah, no. But finding out later how they make the nests, that adds layers.
Yeah.
That adds layers to it whenever you find out later how they make the nests.
And after you make your way through all this, like I said, this chapter really is pretty much you talk to Thomas, he gets killed, you make your way through the crypt.
It's introducing you to the rats. It's introducing you to them because they were shown in the first one, but this is when you're actually seeing them, like seeing
you didn't know
what they
were.
are. Yeah.
You never saw them until this point, and
Yeah.
you end it with a nice run down a tunnel up to the lights.
That was a very cool scene right there. Very
yeah.
cinematic.
This,
It reminded me of Little Nightmares. It reminded me of Little Nightmares.
This game has a lot of running sequences. I will gripe about that. You run a lot, just running sequences.
Mm-hmm.
So next is Chapter 4, The Path to the Laurentius' Farm. So this is part where I'll gripe at Danger because of how he plays this game, and it bothered me. It shouldn't, but I've played through this game a couple times, and watching him play it is... it's wrong. It's wrong.
Which, if y'all want to go see how I played it, you yourself can go view it down below.
Go check out his
down
channel.
below my entire playthrough.
Link.
If you want to, like, yeah, you can put the channel, but also you can just put a link to the playlist.
I'll do that.
Well.
I think the channel is a better way. That way,
Right,
they can see what all of it is.
It's set up in a playlist in order. So I mean, you can just click on the first video and it'll show you all of them.
So
First full playthrough on my channel.
Yeah.
First fully completed playthrough, done and ready to go.
Yeah. My
Super
game.
cool. Yeah.
If only it was.
And this is a game worthy of being the first completed thing. I even said that in the final video. Like, I'm glad. Like, this game was great.
If only Final Fantasy IX was beaten.
Yeah, no, that'd be great.
Almost 2 years ago.
Either that or Subnautica or Resident Evil 1.
I know. So many games that you suffer from the same issue that I used to have if I start a game and I don't finish it. But yeah, so next chapter, you come out, Amicia is still kind of panicked, but like I said, she cannot have time to actually recoil, calm down in any capacity. She has to keep going. And I really love that. I love the fact that this whole game, Amicia does not really get a chance to breathe till like way later in the game. It means so much for later parts of it. And Danger's not here. He left to take care of something. All this comes back in Requiem. I'm going to spoil Requiem because I love Requiem. It comes back in that game as trauma. She cannot react and process what's going on, and that makes it infinitely better. She cannot process all this going on. Her character is learning as she's being frightened, and it is immaculate. It's probably one of the best representations of a character dealing with stuff that I have seen in a game. I deal with stuff too. Not to the same degree Amicia does, but I deal with stuff, and she handles this a hell of a lot better than I've handled my stuff. Probably better than Danger's handled stuff. And then at the same time, she doesn't, and it's great. Alrighty, I did a whole little spiel. I was trying to buy time.
Oh, you could have kept going.
I was going to wait for the story in case you had any story beats to add.
Alrighty.
I was just sitting here basically saying the fact that Amicia surfaces, and she does not have a chance to breathe as Hugo immediately needs to get going. And like that's a big point of this whole game, which, Danger, can I spoil something about Requiem?
I would prefer not.
Okay. Then do not listen to those few minutes that you were gone.
Alrighty.
So I love.
I typically don't go back and listen. The only time was the Dragon Ball video, but besides that, I typically don't listen to it because I'm here. I don't need to go listen to.
I listen. I'll do it just to be like, okay, is this right or wrong? Because sometimes I'll go like Kakarot. I played Kakarot again after he did it to see if the review was right. My review stayed the same for Kakarot.
Yeah.
Mario Odyssey, Silent Hill, all these games stay the same afterwards. I do it just to see, is it the same? Is it not the same? 9 times out of 10, that's the same. I've only had one game on this channel that I'm not even going to say which game it is. Games and Gamers fans, take a guess at which game it is that I actually have more negative feelings with after playing through it again. Take a guess.
Mario Odyssey.
So, continuing on, it's not Odyssey. It's not. I'm not going to say it. If somebody guesses,
you know what? I know what it is. I know what it is.
I don't think you do.
Maybe not, but I think
it's
I do.
not Spider-Man.
Oh, well, that's where my brain went. My brain went like probably
It's
Spider-Man.
not Spider-Man that I had more negative feelings towards after playing it again. So, anyway, you get out of this. Amicia is basically panicked. Hugo's like, hey, we gotta go somewhere. So, anyway, you go out, you see all this, and then you have to go to Laurentius' farm. You're not far from it. Amicia and Hugo start walking on through, sun setting, which is good. I like, the world is beautiful. Just made more and more beautiful. And the outward big parts like this, they look great. You sneak on through, you find the Inquisition are surrounding the farm, trying to cut it off, because maybe they'll go here. Maybe they won't, who knows. More of the stealth stuff which goes on, throwing pots, throwing rocks. Danger was killing all of them. Whenever he had the chance, he's like, these people could have lives. They could have other lives. Now I might just kill them with this rock. Or I'm going to throw a pot at their head. So, you sneak on through, find multiple paths. On this most recent playthrough I did on the stream, you have 2 paths to take whenever you make it to the field. You have a big open field right before you make it to Laurentius' farm. You can cut through the right and deal with them, or cut through the left by the river's edge and not deal with them. I never saw that until my most recent one. Playing through it like a third time, they gave a whole lot of new... I noticed a lot of new small things. What the... My cat found another scorpion. So, go on through, more stealth, catch up, danger. One of the parts that bothered me, you make it to like a little sawmill kind of area in here. This is where he bothered me. You have a man on stairs who kind of cycles walking up and down the stairs, and one at the back.
Yeah.
You could have walked around him.
I could have.
You didn't have to kill him. You don't have to kill everybody.
I could have, but however, I know as soon as I try to pass them, they're gonna turn around and see me. So I'm just
you just gotta remember the cycle. He's going like this when he walks. When he
walks
up,
that's time wasted.
It's 15 seconds.
15 seconds plus an extra 15 if I die. So I was just like, you know what? We switch these just.
So.
Anyway. I was trying to get through as fast as I could because I already knew I was going to die a bunch of times.
So, you do all this stealth stuff. I'm not going to go super in-depth into the stealth. If I say stealth stuff, if I need to, I'll go into it, but you just stealth on through guards, kill them if needed, which 9 times out of 10 it's not needed. It's like 2 areas in the game you actually have to kill people, but you just stealth on through, so that I'll just cut that out right there, because it's... A lot of this game is stealth. It's just mumbo-jumbo, pretty much. It's boring. You stealth. Yeah. Right?
We need a ninja stealth game. A ninja themed new day and age ninja, and there's like more stuff, like there's more ways to stealth around and whatnot.
Ghost of Tsushima.
I have not played that.
You should. It's a good game. So, after you do a little bit of all this marching through and stuff like that, you make your way to a farm. Yeah? Right before the farm, actually. The Laurentius' laboratory, which is a farm. And you see hundreds of pig carcasses piled like 15 foot high.
Yeah, man.
I don't know how the pigs are fucking alive anymore. They wiped them into extinction, dude. That's ridiculous. You see blood and all this, more of the gruesomeness. But sun setting, make it to here, and as soon as the sun fully sets, the rats shoot out of the ground, and you realize rats are okay in the dark. They don't have an issue with it. It's light they hate, so at nighttime, they surface. Make your way into the lab, make your way into the house, and you meet Lucas and a bedridden Laurentius. And like, who are you? We are the Derunes. Yes, Beatrice, she is your mother. She has told me a lot about you, Hugo. Bring the boy to me. So, and he's like, I'm sick. Don't touch me. Oh, okay. He has the plague. I don't know if you caught that, but he has the plague. So, so then he tells Lucas, who is his little protege, you have to go complete everything he needs to get rid of the macula. which is the disease that Hugo has. So, you gotta go craft the stuff, but also first you gotta craft an ignifer. So, they lead him to the barn, and you have a nice little sad segment right here of all of it, because Amicia and Hugo kind of tussle with each other again. They get into another little sibling spat. They just kind of argue with each other over all that's going on because Mummy's not here. Everything's going wrong. So, go outside. You see animals. There's a horse and one single pig and like a couple chickens. You and Lucas, Amicia and Lucas, grab a bag of feed because the barn is infested with rats, and you have to lead this poor pig into the barn and lock the doors behind him in order to get to where they need to be. You go up to it's balcony. It's 2-story barns. Most barns are. You go up there. You hit 2 lights. Hugo asking Amicia, "What are you doing?" What's so sad as you see the pig get eaten alive by these rats?
Yep.
There's nothing. Oh, it's a cricket, not a scorpion. So yeah, like I said, this game's gruesome, people, and it's great. I love it. I'm not sadistic. Maybe I'm a little sadistic.
You were probably a little.
I mean, maybe.
Probably a lot.
Maybe.
Most likely.
Maybe.
It's on the table.
Maybe.
You.
Maybe. So anyway, you go into the place, and then they're alchemists. It's science. It's science to us, but it's alchemy to them. And Amicia is taught by Lucas how to make ignifer. It's more or less little fire bombs. Throw them, they light things on fire. Make your way out of the barn. Look at it, gathering some stuff. Yeah, make your way out of the barn, and more of it is just running through. Like, honestly, this game's story beats happen, and then they're gone for a long time, with a lot of just in between, like a lot of stuff in between. Like right now, you get out of the barn, you have another running sequence lighting haystacks, which burn for like 22 seconds, and then you gotta keep going till you find a boat. Rats can't get to the water, so you're safe when you hit the water. And they're sailing, because I gotta go find a laboratory where Lucas can make a cure for Hugo. Ooh, golden Beyblades, neat. Oh, next is Chapter 5. Quite possibly, I would say one of the worst chapters, like aesthetic-wise, just because of how gross it actually is. Chapter 5 is you walk through a battlefield where hundreds of people were killed.
Yeah, dude, that one was sick. That one was crazy.
And you can walk on the people, like you have to walk across the people, and you hear the crunching below you as you step on their bodies. It's very gross. But Chapter 5 is more...
Bro, dude, Hugo being like, are we hurting them? Like he was like, there's all these soldiers, people were fighting, all dead, all wanted to win their battle. And he was like, are we hurting them? Like, are they okay? Like, bro, it was so sad.
Yeah, like I said, he's 5. They portray this very well as a child who doesn't understand anything that's going on.
Yes, it is done amazing.
So you continue on through all this stuff. You see these dead bodies, do a little thing here and there, and then you see a horse. This is the part that grossed me out my first time playing. Do you remember the horse?
Yeah.
I'm going to put this one on screen. I'm sorry, people out there. But there's a nice little horse that's just sitting there, just kind of writhing, just in the ground. You get close enough and it explodes into the rats, and boom, more rats are appearing. And so you have to run through this plain of dead people, avoiding rats. Then you will start avoiding people along with the rats. At this point, your 2 enemies of the game, of people and rats, are now conjoined. So you have to do this a lot. It's a puzzle-based game. This game has a lot of puzzles to it and how you play it. So go on through, just keep killing more people, and killing people. You have to kill some of them. You don't have to kill all of them. You also learn that people, if you hit, it's more of like at the pig, you can make the rats go to them if you hit their light, because they walk through with a torch, not put that fire out. If the rats are around and the rats will eat them, distract the rats. One of my favorite parts of this game, I didn't see have Danger did this, so I'm going to ask him in a second, but you get to walk through a broken down like house kind of thing with a guard at the back. Danger, did you kill him?
Yes.
Did you know you can save him?
No.
So, well, if you go back through it and actually pay attention to that, You basically walk on through, and this is a choice base to kind of make it, like, how you play it makes a whole lot, and it's only something you really have to pay attention to to see it otherwise, because as soon as you start it, you cannot stop it. There's rats in this house, and there's a guard at the back. You grab a torch, and you start walking on through, and the rats start pushing through. No ifs, no ands, no buts. You cannot drop a torch, can't hand off a torch. It's annoying you can't hand off torches. Like, that's one complaint I do have. You can't hand off a torch. Like, torches, the most valuable thing, are used like they're absolutely useless in the grand scheme of games. But you walk on through, and you see this man at the back. If you don't, there's a fire to his left. As soon as you walk in and pick up the torch, the house kind of crumbles, and there's a torch lit area next to him. You can put the torch back and light it. Or you can walk on through, and you start leading the rats to him. And he's like, please, no, what are you doing? No. And Amicia is like, I'm sorry I have to do this. As she forces the rats to eat him and kill him. Even if you do it quick and they don't even eat him, like I did it once, you just quickly run on through like as fast as you can. The rats are there for like 2 seconds, and he just ragdolls. He's just like, oh, they touched me, I'm dead. That's stupid humor, but it's really a sad moment, and a good sad moment in how they did it, because you don't know until, if you don't pay attention, you don't realize until it's too late you could have saved him, but instead you killed him. This game doesn't have a whole lot of those kind of moments that really are apparent to you of kill this man or keep this man alive. Like, I cannot think of any other moments that are this apparent. So, yeah, Danger said he killed him. I killed him my first run, I saved him my second one, and then last stream I think I did both. So, keep running on through. Like, a lot of this is just sneaking on through. You eventually find some puzzles. The puzzles in this game are kind of fun. You had some fun puzzles in here, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Like, they're not Resident Evil level of puzzle, but they have enough intricacy that you don't, like, it's different.
Yeah.
So, run on through a little more, and you see these two people getting attacked, that get caught by a knight. That's like, hey, what are you doing here? And you try to sneak by, and they point you out, like, hey, what about those two? And this one, what about them over there? And this knight turns his head away. It's stupid, but I don't know what you do in this situation. I don't know why there was one knight with two people. Had they been smart, they could have just jumped him. But he turns to them, and then the other two start a... it's Arthur and Melly. There are two next characters that are going to get added. Attack them. They say thanks. Run off. They start running because more knights are catching up to them. And Hugo trips. Amicia stays back. Lucas runs off. Hugo gets captured. Amicia gets knocked out. End of Chapter 5. Chapter 6. The Damaged Goods. So this was a chapter... Like, the last time I tried playing it, I tried to go no-kill run, and this is a chapter I realized, at least to my knowledge, you have to kill some people. Otherwise, I'm just wrong. I do not know. But I think I had to kill... You have to kill people in some of these games, or moments. So, Amicia wakes up in a cage, in, like, I guess a camp, like an enemy camp, just kind of set up in the middle of nowhere. And... So he's like, I know one of the people hands her food. Here, eat. Typically, we don't feed our things, but I know you're fancy, Lady Daroon, and this man, you are sought after along with your brother. So, hands over the food, walks off. One of the thieves, what are they called? I cannot remember what they're called. Do you remember what they're called?
Bandits?
No, they actually had a name, like not bourgeois. It's something. They had some French thing that they were called as opposed to thief. They are bandits. They're thieves and bandits, but they had an actual specific name. It's unimportant, so don't worry about it. So you go on through a little more, and you talk to Melly. That's her name. She saved you, and she's like, Arthur is up there. You use Arthur to basically distract him because they took your sling. They took everything you had, which I like this part because you have nothing. You're just terrified that one man could literally just look over his shoulder and see you. You can't defend yourself. You're in enemy territory. You're fucked. So, yeah. Go on through for a little while till you find Hugo, because those two are separated. But you get introduced to Melly. Melly helps you all through this. You find Hugo, and then you escape. more or less how that chapter, short and sweet chapter to the point, is, you know, you escape. She helps you escape, and yeah. Oh, Lord Nicholas. Whenever you make it to the end of it, the people who are trying to buy, who apparently bought Hugo and Amicia, is Lord Nicholas, the man who killed Robert Daroon, the one who was chasing him at the beginning of the game in Chapter 1. And then you realize, yeah, this is Inquisition. They're the big bad guys, it seems, so he's trying to go after you. You escape them, make your way out of the place, and then boom, Chapter 7. Honestly, really thinking about it, these are some short not a lot happens, so these can be some pretty short chapters, honestly.
Yeah, some of these are only like 10 minutes, if not even. Like some of these go by pretty fast.
Yeah, like
especially here's the thing, especially if you know what you're doing. Now, if you don't know what you're doing, then that's what can extend it a little longer. That's why it's like you look at the game typical hours, it's like 10 hours, but you can speed run it in like 2. Like yeah. It's like there's many things that because you don't know what you're doing, you're trying to look around, you're trying to figure things out. That's what makes the levels last a little longer. But all in all, the levels are not long. It's just the lack of knowledge that makes them seem as such.
The reason they're long is the stealth part. So you take out all the stealth part, it's really not a long game.
Yeah.
Like
take out the stealth. You know how to do the puzzles, and you take all the stealth parts. Then yeah, it goes by pretty fast.
I'm hitting all the story beats, and we're going by like we're an hour and a half. We spent the first 30 minutes just bitching at each other, pretty much. We're an hour in, and we're like halfway through.
Yeah, we're halfway through now. Yeah.
Like it's like some people. This is a good game. It's just a lot. It's a lot of gameplay because there's a lot of stealth. There's side conversations that happen, little things here. You can go collect stuff. Like you can find flowers for Hugo.
Yeah, I apparently missed quite a few collecting. I missed quite a few because there's this one part to where like towards the end you find like a table and the table or like a shelf. It's full of I guess what's supposed to be collectibles throughout the game. I only had like one thing. I think.
Yeah, that's.
I only had like 1 or 2 things. Yeah.
I think that's chapter 8. Is that 8 or 9?
It's in the castle. Yeah,
it's in the castle.
Yeah, it's later on. Yeah.
It's chapter 8. It's whenever you can look at it.
I didn't even notice it there though. I noticed it later.
Yeah. And the great thing about that, if you want to go play through it again, all those save over. New Game Plus in this game doesn't exist. Like all your upgrades don't save, but all your collectibles do. Mm. So, Chapter 8, you are a, and also apparently, I forgot to say this in this chapter, I think it's this chapter anyway, but Chapter 6 is Melly was hired by Lucas because, Amicia's a princess. They have money. He neglected to say their kingdom was destroyed. So more stuff gets traded into it. I'm not entirely sure what got traded, but some deal got made afterwards. That's why Melly and Arthur went to go save him, not because they felt any heroic justice, but because Lucas said, "Oh yeah, they'll pay you whatever you want, your weight in gold." I liked Melly and Arthur. They were fun characters. Melly was very much... They were both secluded, but you could tell they didn't want to be secluded whenever they met all these characters.
Mm-hmm. Well...
Melly didn't.
Yeah, no, she didn't, but Arthur was very much on the other side.
Arthur, yeah, and I like that. Like, this game is good with its characters. Like, Melly very much, like, you see later on, she wanted to stay with these guys. Like, she was skeptical at first, but then realized they're not bad. Then you have Arthur, he's like, oh, we'll stay with these guys, but they're bad. I like the whole dynamic. Every good character in this game. One character in this game, he's my favorite character, but there's only one character in this game I would really have any complaint about just because of lack of character. But we're not to him yet, so... I
swear, if you say who I think you're going to say, I'm going to be mad. If you say who I think you're going to say, I'm going to be mad. Let's keep going,
Does it relate to arrows?
Does it relate to arrows? Maybe. It might very much relate to arrows. It might.
Mm-hmm. That's who.
We're about to throw hands.
Mutual combat twice in a month. Let's fucking go.
Mutual combat. No.
Whenever we get to him, like, he's my favorite too, don't get me wrong. So, this chapter is, you kind of learn more about Melly, and, it's this chapter whenever you actually learn about the fact of the deal going on, that, you're rich, you'll pay me. Do some puzzles here, you go to a watermill, stop this watermill. The watermill was just stupid. It was so fucking useless. Like, some of these puzzles, it's world building, that's all they are, but come on. A watermill. You walk across a watermill. Really? Don't get me wrong. I love this game. It's one of my top favorite games. I won't give it a number, but it's one of my favorite games. But sometimes it just drags stuff out to drag it out.
I mean, most games do that.
Well, I mean, this one here, they could have made it to where they needed to be. And it's the world building they do. They see the world around to get built, and I'm okay with that. It's like Elden Ring, kind of. The world is what makes up more of the story. You have the story, and the world makes up more of it.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it. But then sometimes, like these right here, you have to pull cranks and levers so you could walk across a watermill. That's just... Why? Of all the things, why? That's a stupid puzzle, in my opinion. It's fun, but it's stupid. So, go to the watermill, you find Mellie's hideout, meet up, and that's where she explains everything. Do a little bit, you get caught up by the Inquisition, they realize, oh shit, they went that way. Find them, and then boom, it's nighttime. I'm surprised no rats appeared at this point, honestly. Because that would have made it more fun, in my opinion. There would have been some way to get around them, but yeah. Then more stealth, you get your next alchemy, which is the Deverantis, which is kind of funny prior, because like 15 minutes prior, Melly is like, I don't need any of this stuff. I don't deal with alchemy in any capacity. I don't know how to use this. And then like 15 minutes later, here you go, alchemy. Here's some more alchemy. I found, I don't know if you picked up on that, but it's very funny that I don't know how to use this. I know how to use this. So, run on through, find Lucas, he's getting escorted out, save him, and then you go to a castle. This castle, okay, no. So you go into a little underwater boat area. It's it's unnecessary, just learning more about the characters, stuff like that. I love the relationship that Amicia and Hugo have with each other. For the fact they hadn't really seen each other that much, I do like the fact of they do get close very quick. Alright. So we had a stop last night. I'll say this right now.
Hello!
It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me. That right there is a reference that some people will get. Not all will. Danger, do you get my reference?
Nope.
Good. Excuse me. So we're going to pick up back where we were. We're in the middle of Chapter 8. And you know what? Let's just go through and kind of just talk about Chapter 8 just one more time. Because, you know what? Danger was dying last night.
I was not okay, dude. I'm better now. I'm so much better now. Like, I feel better and I sound better. But
because I did because it was an hour and a half in Danger the whole time. I was like,
yeah. The whole time, like I was yawning. I felt exhausted. I was wanting to go to bed already, and I started hurting on my back. And I was like, I'm so done. So I feel much better now. I feel great.
I'll be the tired one today. I worked a 10-hour shift today, and I get to do it again tomorrow, and the day after, and possibly the day after. And you know what's even worse? My weekend shift shouldn't have stopped, because everywhere else and where I work's about to go to work in 5 days a week. And possibly Saturdays, too. And you know who could have fucking helped? Weekends. God name of place that I'm not going to say what it is, just because, you know. Be better. God. And my PS2 game, The Bouncer, came in. I'm going to start that after we record. I'm so excited. I'm probably not even going to record it tonight, honestly, because I hear you can play like each chunk in like 2 hours, so I'm probably going to play them in like literally chunk, 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 end of game.
Just try to beat it in like one video.
I can't. It's a 6 hour. It'd be like 6 or 7 hours.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying like the whole thing was 2 hours. Oh.
Chunk.
Yeah.
Final chunk.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So Chapter 8. Oh, that's why my dogs are going crazy. There's a siren blaring outside. No wonder. Yeah. Can you hear that?
I very, very faintly hear it.
Yeah, it's.
Yes. You good?
Anyway, Plague Tale.
Yeah, Plague Tale.
So
let's hope they're okay.
Yeah, if not, I'll know in the morning. So, Plague Tale, Chapter 8. We did all of our fun stuff in the previous chapters. We met Melly, Lucas, all that stuff. This
Yes.
is a chapter where you...
I will say I did think that section was super fun. I did have fun with that. I didn't say it yesterday because again I was dying, but having the whole like sneak by and kind of try to figure out where you were, like which one would be the right option. I think it would be interesting if you had like more than one option, because clearly I mean that's what there was. But it'd be interesting if with those more than one options, they could actually choose to go left or right or something.
You could have.
And it's like different. It's different depending. No, because like I was do that.
There are 3 routes, and depending on which route you take, depends on how hard it actually is.
I was like, let's take the left one. They were like, no, like the guards won't be distracted enough. I was like, all right, then I guess go to the right one and go to the left one. I'm talking about in the beginning. In the beginning.
Okay. I thought you meant the end of it. Yeah, no.
Where you got to choose. No. I know what you're talking about in the end. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you can go through.
Yeah, no, that was also fun. That was also that whole section was fun. And then even near the end, I thought it was super cool. Like and that moment also, like at the very end of it, in that moment, like all you know is that you gotta stop as many of these guys as you can. I'm pretty sure you could just sit there and not do anything and it would work, I think.
It's not
because
too long.
Yeah,
it's
no,
not
so
too long at all.
Yeah. No, literally it's like they run halfway through and then the cutscene ends. So it's like, man, I just threw these rocks for nothing. But in the moment it's like, oh, I need to hurry, I need to stop them. Because I don't know. It could be that 3 of them could get to me.
And one thing we'll say about this, because I've never actually pointed out, this is a stealth-based game where if you get touched once, you're dead. You get caught, you're dead. They can throw a spear at you, you're dead. They can throw a fire at you, you're dead. Anything touches you in any capacity, you're dead.
Yeah. Literally the only thing that, like, the only pity in this game is the rats, and you only have, like, a second. If you're in there for more than a second, you're just dead.
I mean, later on you get more. Like, you get, like, Somnus and Luminous.
Yeah, but I mean, like, besides those, I mean, no, there's those like save me things. But I'm talking about without those, the only thing you can't escape from is the rats, and you have 1 second to do so.
I mean, you have a scream, but that's I guess a second is the right way. But even then, that's not enough time. It's like, ah! Anyway, Chapter 8. So Chapter 8, I talked about this last time, but we're just gonna go through it one more time because why?
Why not? Better energy.
Yeah. So Chapter 8 is the whole thing begins following your friend. You follow Melly after the getting out of the camp, and she's kind of talking about like, hey, your buddy Lucas sent me to find you. Yeah, your buddy Lucas sent me to find you, and we're gonna get you back to where we need to be. You go through a little bit of just kind of looking through the world. The world's great. You go through a watermill stupid puzzle. I said that last night of just, Hugo, hold that. I'll hold this. Melly, you go hold that. Hugo, hold that. We're good to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Walk through the door. Some of these are just too stupid. Like, honestly, they could have jumped across. They could have, or at least could have thrown Hugo across and then jumped across. It's like, okay, Hugo. Hugo's voice actors in Hogwarts Legacy. It's very cool. I like how these two, Amicia and Hugo, are actually getting to a lot more voice acting. I'm really glad that Plague Tale put them on the map for them to start doing more stuff. It's great.
That is super cool. Just one big thing could end up launching an entire like massive career, which is super cool.
Yeah, they were.
Like, there's a lot of stories like that where they. That's super cool as well. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just like literally they could be in one game. That game does well. Like, everyone, like, they're known, so everyone's gonna want to try to get them in if they can fit them and if they're the type of voice to work.
Like, here's how
sometimes it might just be because they want to. Sometimes it could be they just want a big name, but if it's also because like they want their voice, like, that's super cool.
Like, recently, how it's been is any game that has a young boy in it, Hugo's voice actor's been in it. I don't know if it's some like freaking not Mandela, it's some effect. I can't remember what it is, but basically, once you see it more frequently.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, like you'll see like one car and they'll mention it, and then you see it everywhere. Yeah. It's like those like for example, like,
synchronicity. Be a bunch that's what it is. It's a synchronicity.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but it's like you'll think of like one vehicle and it's like, oh, now I see it everywhere.
Yeah, and that's exactly how that is. Like, for some of these, once I hear them, I just hear them everywhere. But anyway, you go to Belly's leading you to our hideout. You go into this hideout. It's a little damp, decrepit, kind of just a thing. It's for brother and sister. Arthur and Melly are brother and sister, by the way. I don't know if I said that. I'm pretty sure I did. It's a new day. It's a new dawn. It's a new life for me. So, they get out. They're in there talking, and then she's like, hey, how are you going to pay me? Because you're going to pay me, you know. And Amicia's like, no, I can't pay you. I'm broke. My mom's dead. My dad's dead. My whole legacy is gone. And as they're trying to get it figured out, they get attacked by the Inquisition. Melly leads them out, and then Melly then teaches Amicia her next little bit of alchemy. Deverantis, that's what it is. My brain fucking fried for a second. I said Deverantis, and I made them a joke last night. I don't know what all I should be in from last night, but I hate this is stupid because literally like 2 or 3 minutes prior, Melly's like, alchemy stuff. I have no use for this, and then literally, alchemy stuff. I have use for this. It's something I noticed on the most recent one. I don't know how to do this. I know how to do this. It's stupid. So use Deverantis. What Deverantis does is if you throw, it's more or less like an acid kind of thing. You throw it on a helmet and gets like coats the helmet. They want to get it off because it begins burning. It's for helmeted enemies that allows you to kill them. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So you do this as a non-stealth thing, which realistically, think about it, they should have, as you throw the helmet, there should be at least a small alert for other enemies in the area. Like, there at least dials tick, because he's going, ah! 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 He's screaming. Do you agree?
I want you to know that you were completely silent for my end.
Not for me.
For my end, you were like...
I was very loud on my end. But
I could tell because it peaked.
So anyway,
but,
you continue on through...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, were you about to...
No, I was saying that I agree with like the whole sound thing. That yeah, it should be. You should wait until they're further from the others. Then you hit them with it, because it's very loud. Like you remove their armor, so it should be like not so easy to remove their armor, and then no one cares. But then you'll kill them. They'll make the slightest like slightest thing. They'll like. And they're like, what was that? And they're nowhere near them. They're all over there. It's like they didn't hear the screaming, but they heard the little...
those stupid moments where it's like, huh? What was that over 45 feet from me? I hear somebody. That happened in one of my playthroughs. It was a later part of the game. I'm walking, and this guy who's on the other side of a wall, I heard something over there. Let me go see what's over there. He walks around, walks up some stairs, walks down some stairs, walks through a door. It may have just been the wind, and walks on back. Like Skyrim level of just enemy.
Damn this wind, he says.
Damn this wind. Damn this wind. Damn this wind. It's rough and coarse. It feels like sand. So anyway.
I want you to... There's a whole origin story to that. That's so funny from my perspective.
I have that video up on my channel.
I haven't seen the YouTube video yet, but it's so funny because from my perspective... I remember I think we were at Walmart or something, and I was literally leaving, and then you just text me randomly, and you're like, "Damn this wind," and I'm like, "What?" And you're just like, "Damn this wind." I was like, "What?" I was like, "What does this mean?" And you're like, "That's just damn this wind." And like that's all I got. Like,
because
okay, and then you said. And then you said it later. You just said, "Damn this wind." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And like, you gave no context. I went like 3 or 4 days with no context, and 3 of them you saying, "Damn this wind." And I'm just like, "What's going on?"
For like one
it was
day,
just so random.
the wind was more
like, "Is this a bit? Is this a new thing now?"
Yeah, it is a bit.
I mean, now it is, but
damn, this wind is gonna be part of our thing. You know what? If I get disappointed, I'll just randomly say "damn this wind." But for the context, I'll just say it. It was 60-mile-per-hour winds that day, and anytime I went to do anything, it was blowing me over. So it's damn this wind, damn this wind, and so then I made it more somber. Damn this wind, damn it.
Dude, like I think maybe a few days ago, it's like maybe like 4 days ago now, we had winds of like 80 miles per hour.
Damn,
it was
this
crazy.
wind!
It was literally raining sideways. It was
that's how wind
it
works.
was cool.
That's how
it
wind
was
works.
cool, but
Have
it
you
was
never seen that?
I mean I've seen it, but like
how do you think? Why do you think you close windows? Wind blows it. It rains sideways.
I know. Okay, I know it does, but I'm saying like typically when you're seeing it, it's just falling, but the rain you're seeing go from left to right, or ahead of you straight onto you. Like it's not falling down; it's falling towards. It was so funny and cool to see.
And that's fun with snow too, like on a cold, like a black snowy night.
I was streaming that day. It was Dokkan. It was Dokkan. I was streaming Dokkan that day, I think.
Whenever I
And
was saying
literally, do what?
Oh no, never mind, never mind.
It was when I was streaming Dokkan, and literally the moment I ended stream, the second I clicked off, then the power in our house went out. The second I ended stream, it was perfect timing.
Man,
It's like, okay, bye, click, boom.
Mother Nature was just waiting for you. Like, okay, he's
It was
gonna be done
I
eventually.
need you to hurry this up. I need to do my typical power off. Please hurry.
All right, so anyway, you as you sneak past guards, you kill some guards or sneak past them. He killed them. I sneak past them. You meet Lucas. You save Lucas as he's being escorted. Then they begin following a little bit further, go on a little bit, snapping on through the woods till you find a castle. I did this again last night. Actually, come to a little underwater stream thing. Very useless.
There's like
it's just a little more.
It's a nice visual. It's part of the sort of world building, but also it just looks really cool.
Exposition.
Like,
It's exposition for characters too, because you can kind of get at this point realize Lucas kind of has a thing for Melly.
Yeah, no, it's insinuated quite a bit throughout the.
Especially later, especially way later, it's very much insinuated. But he also has a thing for Amicia, so right now he's in 100% I don't know who I want, which is great.
But
yeah.
Also, so one thing is like that I mean, it's just a great. It's so many things about the good game, but also it's showing how good they're able to build a world. Like that studio, how well they're able to build a world.
Like I said,
yeah, like typically you're like, because like, okay, for example, like if this came from like a massive, like if this came from like Microsoft or Sony or something, then yeah, it's to be expected. But when it comes from a company that's not any of these massive names, like it's really cool. It's really cool to see like a game like that. It's super cool.
like
That's one thing where I enjoy the world even more so because of that. Because it was from Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo at
Let's say
times.
Naughty
Nintendo
Dog.
does.
We'll use Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog made Last of Us, so we'll compare those two because we've been comparing a lot of those two. Naughty Dog was a big kind of company with Uncharted stuff like that. This Asobo wasn't. Like honestly, Asobo knocked it out of the park with their like first big game that I know of.
Yeah, no, like like it's super cool.
That's why I have Amicia staring at me.
The castle, like walking up to the castle.
Well, we got a little bit of
cool.
You gotta go walking to it was great, but then you also got a little like drawbridge puzzle thing, where you kind of see that they had ready for rats. This place knew rats were coming, so you got to move these torches and stuff on like gondoliers or whatever it is. The brazier, that's what it is. The brazier. You got to move them along and kind of push them into ravines and pits, which is cool. Like, yeah, they've seen it before. And after a little bit more, you make your way outside, and this part was cool. Right before, where you see the rats flooding, and then the BAM! Lightning flash with the music. I love this game. We made mention of it last night, that the music in this game is great. The music plays heavily into a lot of this game.
Yeah, like, no, it's really good. It's really cool. I love the music in it.
Big moments.
Again, it got stuck in my head like a day or two ago. It just got stuck in my head, and I ended up catching myself like humming it a few times.
Yeah, like big moments of this game. Right here, it's lightning playing. The lightning goes, and you hear like a pwee, like a cello's just string pulled tight, which is fun. Same like a cello and violin. This game's music is absolutely immaculate. This is my favorite game soundtrack ever. Well, the series, Plague Tale and Requiem and Innocence are my number 2 and number 1. I can't decide which, but they're both number 1. They're both the best.
Better than Last of Us and Silent Hill.
Hell yeah!
All right.
Like I'm also saying full soundtrack. I said Silent Hill has my favorite 1 soundtrack, which is Not Tomorrow. Last of Us has some good ones, but Plague Tale, all of them are good. So anyway, make your way into the castle, and it's flooded with rats. You move some braziers, kind of seeing more of this thing, clearing them all over. The brazier thing with Melly was really fun. You know, lighting them, walking through, the rats just kind of flooded around you and all that. As you push them into the ravine, once you get them all pushed into the ravine, it is... Why is there a foot on my screen? There's a foot.
Why?
I don't know. Help.
I mean, well, hey, lore drop for Hayden here.
It's I'm reading it on the wiki, And on the bottom of it, it's like
okay.
new capsule awaken energy. 27 photos show the darker side of the world.
You know what? You know what? To be fair, you pointed out that Melly was not wearing shoes.
Yeah,
and I didn't even know that. I didn't know that. Why?
I didn't.
I mean,
didn't notice it until my most recent playthrough. I just happened to look and wait a minute. Hold the fuck on. She's barefoot. That's so awful. Her feet must be in pain.
Yeah, dude, our aunt had like the same reaction because I just walked through like weeds and stuff and rocks, and she'll be like, "Is your feet not hurting?" But it's because at our old house where we used to live, there was rocks and sticks everywhere.
Yeah.
So I was walking around barefoot on rocks and sticks all the time. So that's why I see that. It's like it's not the craziest thing to me.
Well, here's the thing.
But I guess
back then, they were walking on bodies barefoot. Think about that. That's where it blows my mind. They're walking on human bodies through corpses. Their toes dwindling in the blood.
Probably don't eat with how callous their feet are. They probably don't feel it.
I mean, it don't matter if they don't feel it. That's fucking disgusting.
I mean, it is.
Hey, Melly, look, you have some blood in between your pinky toe and second toe. Oh, thank you, Arthur. Wipe, wipe. Oh, look, there's a tooth in here, too.
You got someone's toes stuck between your toes.
I'm gonna cut this out, but what those toes do.
Wow. 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 Wow.
So anyway, after
I'll
all,
look up how old she is real quick, and I want you to say that again.
Danger, she's. That's why I'm gonna cut that joke out.
Yeah.
You're the one that said I made the joke of blood and toes. Then you stick more toes in it. Then I had to be like,
No, I'm talking about it's funny because it's like someone's decapitated toe between their.
I mean, some people can grab stuff with their feet. So I mean, what those toes do technically isn't the worst thing in the world.
Me and I mean, you can just cut this out. Me and Caleb, like when
my brother and I, God.
Anyways, so me and Gamma, I say me and someone. Like I know it's someone and I, but I say me and someone out of spite. I know the correct definition is someone and I, but I say me and someone out of spite. But
that's not a definition.
So
that's proper grammar.
It's proper grammar, but I don't care. But me and him, when we were little, we would literally use our feet like we were monkeys. Like if there was something on the floor, we need to pick it up. We'd pick it up with our feet. If we there was times to where literally, if I need to open a door, my hands are full. I'll just open the door with my foot because we could turn doorknobs with our feet. I'm pretty sure we still can.
You fucking Tarzan ripoff.
No, me and him have very durable feet. We both have
okay, can we stop talking about feet?
Yeah, let's move on.
So after all the brazier stuff,
all that out.
I'm glad we do. But after all the brazier stuff, you get it cleared out, and boom, we have a castle. And end of chapter 8.
Really cool.
Like I said last night, this game really doesn't have a whole lot to it. It's a lot of stealth, and that's kind of it. You have moments here and there of conversation, but not much more than that. So, Chapter 9. In Chapter 9, you get to explore the castle a little bit. You get to see everybody in their own little corner. Melly, actually, one funny thing about this, you didn't notice it, because you didn't do it, but I did it on the stream, I'll point it out. But you gotta go find Lucas. Lucas is down in the laboratory doing some laborious stuff. Then they do stuff to try to make a cure for the macula, the prima macula that Hugo has. Grab some stuff and leave. They're trying to find Melly. Did you happen to find, because I'll be honest, I haven't watched all your stuff. Did you ever find the tomb in there?
Tomb.
I'll take that as a no in the castle.
I don't think so. Where was it?
Whenever you can go down, you can continue going down. Like go up or down to visit Lucas, you have another flight of stairs that goes down, you can find a tomb. And then you're like, who is this? I don't know, but we'll pay him respect. And it goes in later on because later on it turned into a chapel. They go down there and they pray to this, whoever this is. Hey, wherever you are, person, whatever you are, person, please keep us safe. And I like that. Fun little small details. But later on, you go through all this, talk to him, you go try and find Melly. Hugo goes out to this big open area and begins screaming as they're trying to find Melly. And I laughed at this, because they can't find Melly, but this had that absolute moment of, if you don't look at them, you never know they're there. Because she's like, whoa! Yeah! And Melly's like, hey, shut up over there! You're too loud! Oh, Melly, there you are! Even though she would have opened the door, seen Melly right in front of her, and then literally, oh, there you are! It's small, stupid stuff I just pick up, and I absolutely laughed because I knew what was going to happen. And I'd really hoped I'd pause it and went to photo mode to look around. And you pause it, go into photo mode, and turn, and Melly's just staring you down as you're screaming into the abyss. I would have loved had she not been there. It would have made it so much better. She's not there, and next you know, she just materializes into existence.
Yeah, just teleports into the game.
That would have been hilarious. So anyway, this is okay. In this chapter is whenever you realize that you have to go find the book. The Sanguinis Itinera, that's what it is. This big old...
that sounds close. That sounds right.
The big old French name, which is hard to pronounce. Because
big old red book, which is actually not that red. It's more of like a brown book with some red on it. But sure.
It's more like a maroon.
Maroon. It didn't really look like a red book, though, whenever I saw it. Maybe I'm colorblind, but it did not look red to me.
I mean, I have blue hair. No. You've never known. But... So, anyway,
You've
Lucas...
never corrected it to be whatever I called it a certain color.
Yeah, because I didn't want to tell you. It's sad to tell you. I didn't want you to learn on Games and Gamers that you're colorblind. That's why you're wearing a yellow shirt right now.
No, it's blue.
No, it's not. My shirt's blue.
No. Does that mean that Danger X is actually blue?
No, Danger X is purple and green. I didn't know how to tell you.
It's the worst. Nah, you know what? Purple and green would be sick, though. Joker, Riddler type colors, that'd actually be sick.
They don't really match very well, unfortunately. They're complementary.
The Joker and the Riddler.
Anyway, Lucas tells you, hey, Amicia, go find this book. It has what we need to complete the cure. So, Melly knows the way around here. Still don't know anything about where Arthur is. We know, but more or less, we figure he's dead or he's been captured. So, she takes her into town. You talk a little bit to her because you see a dead person. She's like, oh, I knew this person. Also, the entire town is being evacuated. The plague has been brought there, and they're trying to get people out. And also, the Inquisition is trying to take over the town to find the Sanguinis Itinera. And it is the Sanguinis Itinera. Itinera. Itinera? Sanguinis in Itinera. Yes. I should have just had Danger Google that for me instead of me just sitting here Googling it. But
I'm literally here as the Google man. You could just tell me to look it up, the pronunciation.
So anyway, as you go, you got to go find a university. It's a library. It's a library, pretty much. You go through the town, library. Yeah, library. I guess that's the whole point of this chapter is get to the library. You go on through, you sneak through, you start seeing more people kind of suffer in the town, like how you see the Inquisition dealing bad with them. Sneak through. Man, I keep saying sneak through. Here's a good one. Here is a good one that you bothered me on. So, you sneak on through this whole town, stealth-based game a lot. Like, I cannot describe the areas enough because it's just sneak through, here's a guard, sneak through, here's a guard. I can literally go through detail per detail explaining what happens. So, unfortunately, this game cuts down to, I say stealth. I'll just say, I think I said this yesterday, but I'm going to reiterate. I'll say stealth it, and that's literally the best we can actually do, because otherwise it's literally like, oh, I snuck around. You sneak around. These are a group of 5 people. Then there's a 6th one chilling over there. Then you have an 8th one right there. Then you have a 3rd one right there. Sometimes...
you just go to town and hit everyone in there with a rock.
This part bothered me because you did it so wrong, and I did see this. It bothered me.
I love that you and me had two very like you try to sneak through everyone you can, and I tried to kill everyone that I could.
Even my first time through, I didn't try to kill everybody. I saw moments. Oh,
dude, I was just swinging around my sling, and I was just like, I am not getting caught by any of these guys. Like the only time I skipped is when I knew like there was literally zero need, and it went like because so there was one path to where there's like 3 guys to the side. I like passing on through. It's when it's near the end of the section, like right before you meet Arthur and Melly. There's one guard they have to put to sleep. Besides that, there's 3 other people to the side. They're not in my way at all. So I was like, okay, so then I'll leave those guys alone. But if they're in my way, I need to, then I'll take them out. Now, there were times that I went out of my way to get some people that were not in my way, but
like this one here where we're talking about, you make it to a very gruesome part of the game. Like, I actually mean it. Like, I say gruesome, but this one's kind of just nasty overall. It's where they hang the dead bodies.
Yes.
And you're supposed, like, it's hang bodies hanging up like a story, like maybe 20 foot up.
It's so weird. Yeah, no, there's it's like a box. It's like a
and they do that.
I forgot what they call it. It's like the thing from like a playground, like where it's just like a bunch of bars connected. It's like a huge cube of a bunch of bars. It's a jungle gym, but wasn't there a name for it specifically, or is it just called a jungle gym?
Gallows.
Gallows. Okay, yeah, it's like a gallows full of hanging bodies, and it's like,
that's what they're.
That is
the gallows.
Yeah, that was. And then on the inside it was even worse.
Yeah, because that's where all the dead bodies fall, and that's where they keep the rat. That's why they lure the rats there. And you go walking through it, and boom, there's just rats through there. Use a light, and you clear it out. You have to hit dead bodies, corpses, to make them fall. So to get the rats to not interact with you. And you're supposed to sneak through this. Because there's a specific part of it, you hear conversation, world building. Danger saw one people at the end. You know what? I'm gonna just kill you. And it bothered me. It still bothers me. He played this game so wrong, and it bothers me.
I personally think I beat it exactly how it should have been beat.
No.
Now, I could have gotten some story stuff, it could have gone a few charms, but I think it was good enough to call it a playthrough. I think it was fun.
I can mod Elden Ring and beat it. That doesn't mean it's a good playthrough.
I think it was good enough.
So anyway, you make it to the gallows, seeing all these blood and stuff like that.
I'm sorry, who's getting the views and likes on their playthrough?
I mean, me.
Yes. I got actually like 10 views today.
Nice. So go through all this gallows stuff, just sneaking around. The gallows is just gross. You then also, after a little bit, you make it to a cemetery. The cemetery, you see 2 guards talking to another alchemist, and he's like, "What is this?" "This is odorous. Odorous has very good properties. Watch!" He just grabs bottle and sulfur, just throws it, and all the rats start swarming it. This is your next thing of, I think it actually, no, this is just odorous. What's it called? It is odorous.
I think it's literally just odorous.
No, there's a thing of
Odorous.
No, it's odorous.
Are you talking about the other version?
What it's actually called, like specifically what it's called when you pick it up.
Oh, you're talking about like the crystal things.
The chemical.
Yeah, you're talking about the crystal chemical things. Yeah.
I cannot remember.
I don't know what I don't remember what that is now.
Anyway,
it started with a G. It was yellow and started with a G, I think.
I don't think it started with a G.
There was something that was... Oh, Google. You keep talking. I'll Google.
So, anyway, you go through the cemetery, you use this, it gets added to your repertoire stuff, you throw this, it'll track the rats for like a couple seconds, upwards like 5-6 seconds initially, letting you do whatever it is you need to do, and lets you do some new puzzle things, and also you can throw it on people and kill people with the rats. Yay. Then after that, you sneak your way into the university. I don't need this PDF. Go away. Thank you. In the university. Why I have a wiki thing up trying to help me make sure I keep going. Why didn't it just chapter 10? Chapter 10. There we go. Chapter 10. You make your way into the university because you got to find this book, the Sanguinis Itinera, book with 3 roses on it. That way you can, again, save your brother. Brother will die if you don't get it, because you start learning about thresholds of the macula. Yeah, thresholds, like all these thresholds basically are just the macula reacting to the body. My body reacting to the macula. Macula has some things, some prospects, that's the wrong word, properties that are going to come into fruition.
Episanguis.
Episanguis. Yeah, Episanguis.
Episanguis.
No, that's not Episanguis.
And one salt, and there's like a saltpeter.
Episanguis puts it out. Episanguis puts it out.
Odorous. Use one Episanguis and one saltpeter.
Is it Episanguis? And what is extinguis?
That's what it says.
Extinguis. That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
All these names, they sound so much alike.
And one sulfur.
Yeah. Okay, I had it backwards then. Okay. Oh, I was supposed to pick up batteries today. Shit.
What had a G? I was like, there was something that had a G in there.
Not that I can think of.
My memory is probably just super wrong.
Episanguis, that has
Episanguis.
Anyway, you sneak your way into the library, trying to make your way down to the forbidden area. You kind of, because, you know, you realize that's where it is after you look through all the books. There we go. It's having a hard time loading. Running through for a little bit longer, you end up hearing about a boy who got captured. His father was killed because he would not open the door. Now they're telling boy to open the door or you will suffer the same fate as your father, because him and his father are the two that made the door. This character is not useful in the story in any capacity, so we're not even going to give him his name.
Yes, he is. Bring him in.
Bring him in. Danger. Be honest. He has 1 point in this game. He does actually anything story.
Very important to the story. Keep going.
So you see this man. He's being escorted through. Yeah, I'm thinking of something later. You see him being escorted through, and you eventually have the ability to save him. And he's like, "Oh, what is your name? Thank you for saving me. What is your name?" "I'm Amicia. You?" "I am Roderick."
Roderick the Tank. My boy Roderick the Tank, my favorite side character in the entire game.
Oh, he's my favorite too. Don't get me wrong.
Favorite side character, Roderick the Tank.
Don't get me wrong. Roderick's my favorite character too, aside from Amicia, but he doesn't do anything in the story.
Roderick the Tank.
I think we're about to get more rain. Shit.
All right, let's try to hurry them so we get a power outage.
I don't need power outage. I'll be fine. So anyway, he says, "I'll open this door for you." He opens the door for you, and you start going through. You do a nice little puzzle while talking to him in order to get to the book. Little like just moving bookcases here and there in order to open it, and bada bing, bada boom, you get the book. And after you get the book, an ugly, old, what's a two-eye color called? Heterochromatic man comes in the room like, Amicia, Daroon, your brother, Hugo, Daroon. Where is he? I think it's actually spot on, don't you think?
You keep cutting out for me, so I have no idea.
I know, I do not keep cutting out because it keeps the green circle.
Like, I hear this. I just hear.
Amicia. Anyway, his name is Vitalis, Lord Vitalis. He wants to get Hugo for unknown reasons. So you have another escape. You set the library on fire. Run. Make your way out of the library. Kill some people. Roger can kill people. That's his big thing, is he can kill people. Like I'm behind, he can literally go up and just, "You're going to pay." Snap their neck.
"You're going to pay." And then he just takes them out. They could be double armored. He's just like, "You're going to pay." And then just, bro, he's the tank.
You are going to love Arnaud.
Tank.
You don't know who Arnaud is, but you're gonna love Arnaud.
Roderick the Tank.
But anyway, so you basically make your way out of there. You collect back with Melly and run through a burning building. Roderick gets himself a permanent scar. He has a burn mark on him, which is weird because he hit with his right side and he has a burn mark on his left side. Did you pick up on that? Did you notice that stupid little thing?
No.
Yeah, there you go. Go play through the game again. Then you'll see all this stupid stuff I'm pointing out. I'm very meticulous in my gaming, people. Especially on my second or third or fifth playthrough. So anyway,
that is your job. My job is to make everyone in the comments mad.
That's my job too. Fuck Silent Hill fans. So anyway, next you go back, you give the book to Lucas. Roderick joins the group. Melly is Melly. Yeah. Okay, now we're in for like the hardest chapter of the game. Chapter 11.
I will be the judge of that.
So, chapter 11. Roderick, you were trying to open a door. Roderick says, "Oh, I'll open this door for you." He bangs down a door.
Roderick the Tank!
Proceed through the door. First, ask Roderick to break the door. Proceed through the narrow corridor. It will lead to the next door, which will have to be opened by force. This will let you get into the yard. After a short conversation, you will have to follow for Lucas to the main lobby. You have to go to the main lobby to look for Lucas. This is awful. And after the cutscene comes to the end of the task. And this whole conversation, I think, is talking about the fact that Beatrice is alive. Arthur made his way out of prison, and they're like, Beatrice is alive. I heard the name Beatrice DeRune. Hugo sort of hears it, and that's chapter 11.
Yep.
Because they decide they want to go back to where it all started to see what they can learn, because they need to, it is before this where they hear about Beatrice, and they want to go back to her laboratory to make the serum, the cure for Hugo, because she's an alchemist much better than Lucas is. So they decide to go back to the DeRune house, the villa, the Bailey, the Mate. Which, like, end of chapter 11. Like I said, it's the hardest chapter in the game. You have to pay attention. Isn't it great?
Yeah.
You are so quiet.
I'm so quiet.
You were.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if you need to turn your mic up, Cody. You are a little quiet.
Yeah!
Anyway, so chapter 12, Path to the Mansion. You go up this nice snowy path, which is very pretty. This game's very pretty. I think we've said that more than once.
Oh, yeah.
Like more.
Oh, no, this game is awesome. This game is great looking.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's my absolute best gorgeous game of gorgeousness. That's gorgeous. Except for one other game. There's one other game out there that I genuinely think looks a little bit better. But
Is it the sequel? I imagine the sequel is better. You're not really spoiling anything if you're saying the next game is graphically
outside
better.
of Plague Tale, because Requiem is one of the absolute best world games I've played.
Dude, I remember seeing... Okay, here's the thing. Here's one thing. Again, I didn't know anything about Plague Tale. You know, I thought it sounded cool, and it's like, oh, maybe it's a game I'll play in the future. You know, and with games, that's a real thing. But I remember seeing the trailer or announcement. It was either E3 or Game Awards or something where they announced Requiem. I remember I watched it live being announced, and it looked so good. Yeah. It looked really good. I still remember the trailer. It looked amazing. So I imagine it already looks really good, like much better than this one, because
but that's not the game.
I think it was made, huh?
It's not outside of Plague Tale. Either one. There's one game that I'm not gonna say. Even Danger doesn't know that I think looks better than Plague Tale, world-wise. So
I have a few ideas, but I probably don't know the answer though.
I mean, I've streamed it.
Okay, yeah. So I think I know.
So anyway, you open this one. It's just more sneaking on through. You're talking. As you walk up to a little bit of it, like maybe a minute or so in, you see these big holes in the ground where these rats are spiraling. We don't know why they're spiraling, spinning around something. They're doing something. We don't know what. And Amicia's like, leave them alone. We have better things to do. So walk on up. You go to the Mate, the Bailey itself, and then you see two guards that were left there from the attack at the beginning of the game. You kill those guards or leave them alone. It depends on how you play. Danger killed them.
Yes.
But you killed them in the wrong way. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to make them suffer. And you hit the lights out from above them and just watch the rats eat them alive.
I'm slightly more merciful than that. I just got that over with.
And that's why you made a poor man get eaten alive in Chapter 6 by pushing rats towards him.
I didn't know that one though. That was not out of premeditated thought. The other one, I was like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna just get you out of the way. Like Like I ain't gonna leave you be in case you do live, but also you're suffering. So let me just take you out real quick.
Nah, I think one time I let him suffer, and the last time I played, I hit the lights and I just watched the rats eat them alive. They deserved it. They killed Robert, and ergo they killed Leon, and ergo Boba Fett. So, make your way up to the tree, like a big old courtyard. You were in the beginning of the game, whenever you're talking, and you see Robert Daroon's body on the ground, untouched, nothing going on, and then boom, rats appear, and you start hearing them say, "Hey, they're regrouping. What the hell are they doing?" And they start the spiraling they did earlier. The rats somehow learn. Don't you fucking do it. You turn that shit off right now.
Do you know what I was trying to play, but it won't let me?
No. And I don't want to know.
I was trying to play the sound effect of it, but it won't pick up because Discord.
What is it?
Dumb.
Is it from the game?
No.
Good.
It's not.
So the rats begin to spiral, and they get about maybe, I don't know, 6 foot, 7 foot tall, and they can put out fires. And the way you deal with this is you got to throw Ignifer directly at them, which you can hand toss it or a slingshot it. I found it better to do the hand toss because it's quicker and easier.
I completely forgot you even could.
Yeah, I know.
Didn't even. Yeah.
That's why I sent
the
you
whole.
a message.
And then also, funny. Here's the thing: when you sent me the message, I was already done. Like when you sent me the message, it was hilariously bad timing. Like, I was like, "All right, I'm done." Oh, by the way, you can throw it if you want to. I'm like,
No.
Thanks, man. Pretty sure I was done with it.
Hold on. Let me go find this specifically, because I said it before.
Or did you say it
your final
afterwards?
episode.
Let me see. Yeah. Maybe you did, but I didn't remember seeing it until afterwards. I can't see it because our face cams are in the way.
I'm reading through it.
But I remember seeing it afterwards. I'm like, oh. Okay.
Gulp arrows.
Yeah. Arrows.
Yeah.
Because I did not reach the arrow section.
So anyway,
I'm like, what arrows?
you take out these rats, and they can now regroup and attack you. Kill you more. Put out your light source. I bitched last night about the torches, and I'm gonna bitch about them later, actually. So you make your way through the house. You begin seeing like bodies of them. Something that I'll say right now is unexplained through the entire game, where the rats circle the bodies, not interacting with them. No explanation except, maybe they're doing something. Do we know what? I don't. That's it. So, going through the house, do a little more exploring, killing things, protecting yourself from the rats, seeing them regroup again, and then you make your way to a long walk. You light a wagon, Lucas pushes the wagon, do all this. Danger almost got left because he wasn't paying attention.
Almost got left?
Whenever you were into the Daroon household.
Oh yeah, no, I remember. Yeah, I was like, all right, anything okay? No, yeah, I saw he was taking off.
You were sitting there making odorous. You did that. What you were trying to do was the wrong thing. You had the right idea at first. You were supposed to light that light and walk through the light. That was an alchemy cart right behind you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, make your way to the laboratory. And in this laboratory, you see a mural of the Justinian Plague, which has some vague similarities to the Black Plague that's going on. And I really like that. The history aspect of it, where they keep the history and they just alter a little more to it, is actually kind of cool. The Justinian Plague was a real plague. Black Plague was a real plague. I wonder what Plague Tale possibly, if there is a Plague Tale 3, what it could be about. Ebola? COVID? Some other third thing? Who knows?
I will let you know. I'm pretty sure you still have to bleep those out because I don't think you're supposed to say them on YouTube.
At
least the C one. Sure, man. And then it, just like when you played the music at the end of stream, and you're like, I'm gonna just play.
You know what? That's okay, because those that were there with me are gonna remember that. I'm okay with that. So anyway, make your way to our laboratory, complete a little puzzle with said laboratory, and yeah, that's kind of it. You get to go to our lab. A little lab, you start learning a little more. Lucas makes his cure. You deal with the rats, and Lucas makes the cure. Am I missing anything?
One cool thing is I don't know if it's like there's multiple ones you can pick, but I ended up grabbing the right one the first time.
Oh, of the
Like the
stink.
one I was supposed to get.
Of the
Yeah, like
stink.
the stink. It was
You,
like
yeah.
which one of these smell? And I guess I don't know if it's like there's multiple options or
Yeah,
if I
it's
just
one.
randomly.
It's one. It's left to right.
So I
One of
just
them.
randomly got it.
Yeah, you basically in this place in the laboratory, Lucas is like, "Hey, I need you to grab these parts for me. Grab these things for me, or I'm gonna grab them." So you have her. So Amicia goes and grabs a bottle of stink, grabs, and then Lucas makes stuff. That's pretty much it. Like honestly, this chapter is just walk in, go to laboratory. Pretty much, you get to see some cool bits of the house. See the Hugo's room. They go into Hugo's room. Hugo's room is untouched by the rats. Nothing has happened to his room since they've left. The whole house is broken down. His room is dandy. That's weird. I'm so glad we get to hear about this later. Spoilers, we never know why they do that.
Is there an actual explanation to it? Here's probably what it was.
It's
if I
not
was
what
to
you're
take
about to say. If it's what I think you're about to say, it's not it, and I'll tell you why. Because that would mean it would have happened to that wouldn't happen to Amicia either.
No, my guess is that they had an idea for what it was supposed to be. Like they must have had an idea for it originally, but then either they changed ideas or it got scrapped or something. Like it was, if you want to throw in headcanon, maybe she like sprinkled the room and with the actual like cure
no.
or something. But
No,
like,
it's not that. It's not that. That room.
Yeah,
has, we'll get to that in a little bit. We'll get to that in a
yeah,
little
but
bit.
my guess is they had an idea
Oh,
for
they absolutely
that.
did.
But then, because here's one thing: if it's a major studio, that could be something they can end up fixing. If you're a smaller one and you're making this huge game, you need to buy a release date. Then yeah, and I can totally see that being a mistake. Where like they had an idea, they changed it, they already have all the stuff built, they don't have time to go back or the money or anything. So it's like let's just keep on going, and well, people will make up headcanons or something. Or,
That's not at all what I thought you were going to say. I saw one theory. But yeah, that's Hugo's room. We'll
No,
learn
my
why.
my theory is purely practical. I'm pretty sure they just
We're
ran
going to
out of
learn
time.
why at least Hugo's room a little bit later. So you get the cure, you go on back. Chapter 13. Chapter 13 is the kind of a sad chapter. You go on back, you give Hugo the cure. Well, it's not even a cure. It's just supposed to halt the macula through his body. He drinks it. Then he talks about, can we go see Mummy? You know, we can't go see Mummy. Amicia takes a nap, and in this nap, you begin seeing areas of everything you've been. You know, been to the village, the house.
Literally before anything happened, I predicted it was going to be like a dream sequence or something.
Yeah.
Like it was going to be something like that before anything even happened at all. Like nothing happened, and I was like, "Is this going to be like a dream sequence?"
And it is for a little while. Like it's half dream, half not dream.
Yeah, like hallucinating, like half because like in the dream something did actually happen. So I mean,
yeah, she hit her head too, so that also kind of goes with some of this.
Yeah.
So anyway, she begins seeing past visions of Claire V. She begins seeing Beatrice. Right now, this is where one of her moments where Amicia is like, "Hey, I'm not doing good. I'm not doing well enough." So her mind's playing tricks on her. Everybody's doubting her. You see Laurentius saying, "How could you? This boy is special." Claire is like, "Oh, you yelled at Hugo again, didn't you?" And then you have Beatrice saying he doesn't need you anymore. To where you catch him, and then he disappears. You hear him screaming as he runs off, and you then see him get captured by 2 Inquisition guards. Fun fact, all the guards have the same model. All of them. All of them. I don't know if you pick. It's not. If it's normal guard, same model. Archer, same model.
I picked up. Yeah, like you're seeing like the same like five character models.
2.
You're seeing the same few models. Yeah.
Because the other ones are helmeted, and they're just expanded versions of the bigger ones. I'm on to you with Sobo. So anyway, you go a little bit more running. Make your way back, and as you're making your way back, Hugo's basically like, "Hey, is Mummy dead?" "Yes, Mummy's dead. I am sorry. Even though Hugo knows that she's not dead, they talked about that he overheard them saying that she's alive. So that's why he's asking all this, because he wants Amicia to prove that, yes, she's either dead or call her out for lying. Unfortunately, only one of those two things happens. So, going on, as we're making our way back, you begin to hear Beatrice call out for Hugo. This part I do not know. I'm not sure about this part of this game, because it makes no sense. Because you hear Beatrice's voice calling out for Hugo. You follow. Then, after through a little bit of horror sequence, you see Hugo talking to Lord Nicholas, saying, "Hey, can we go see my mummy?" "Yes, sure, boy. Come with me." And then Nicholas walks off as Amicia just kind of sinks into a little sea of horror-filled dream rants. And end of chapter 13. I like this chapter, just because...
Yeah, dude, because, okay, so, again, you even mentioned it, like, yesterday, about how it's literally all of this pressure and weight onto a single person who's, one, young, two, not used to any of this. Like, again, beforehand, everything was great, and with these last, like, I think it was maybe 14 days by now, maybe. I don't remember exactly how many days it's been.
It hasn't been too long.
Yeah, it hasn't been too long. Like, again, like 2 weeks max.
Well, this has. No, this has, because
I feel like
they were in the fall at the beginning of the game. Then they were in a snow.
It was maybe a month later. Yeah, it's been a time. It's been a good amount of time, but it's still very small amount of time in comparison to everything that happened within a small period.
Like, she is the mother protecting her brother with no clue. She has a little family helping do it, but then she also feels like she has to. All these people are under her watch, so she tries to take care of them. She becomes the leader of the group.
Yeah, and so all of this pressured down, and then like blame, and then like, turning, because that is a very common thing is typically people will like blame themselves for everything that's gone wrong or whatnot. And even if it is their fault, they'll be like, oh, there was no reason for there's no reason for that to be okay. Which, while some cases sure, but still that doesn't get rid of the fact that it was a very like pressured situation or a very angry situation or something, Stressful. It's all this weight onto a single person, and that's a lot. And dude, I'm pretty sure the part's not out yet. I'm pretty sure it's part. I think it's the next part. I don't know if by me reacting to this is out yet or not. But yeah, no, dude, I was like, I was like, that hit hard.
Yeah. Like, it's a good chapter just because you literally get to see, like he said, you get to see the actual stress she's feeling, the weight, and it's great. This game is done very well.
Yeah.
And like I said, all this, you play that one, all this means so much more. God. I want to. Yeah, I'm gonna play it again after. I'm gonna play the Bouncer and Hogwarts Legacy, and then Subnautica and Requiem. 10 out of 10 game. 9.9 out of 10 game. So the next chapter is
14.
I don't like this chapter.
Which this I know is not out yet. I know this one's not out yet.
This one only has one cool moment through the entire chapter, and that's at the absolute end of the chapter. This is Hugo's chapter. The literal stealth.
We're gonna play as the little Lego character.
Literal stealth or die. That's it.
The game was like, how can we make Danger play stealth and not kill everyone he sees?
Yeah.
Let's make him Hugo without anyone around to help him. I'm like, dang, all right, I guess I'm
you can explore all this big old capital thing. He was held captive. They're taking his blood. He doesn't know why. It's very nasty as to why, but they're taking his blood. And he's like, I want to go find Mummy. I'm gonna go find Mummy. He gets up and he begins exploring the castle, sneaking around. He's stealth. This one's true stealth, but at the same time, this one's not, because these people are just so fucking oblivious. He literally walked next to somebody. Probably grazed them.
Here's the thing, there's so many times in this game to where people are just completely oblivious. Even playing as Amicia, there's so many points in the game to where people it's like, I guess I know she. Yeah. Like, you're telling me you don't see 3 people hiding in a shelf to where clearly it's not a full wall. You're hiding behind, like, supplies. So you could see all 3 of them. You're just like, oh, I guess I don't see them.
Here's how they hide. Here's the skill of the hiding.
Yeah. And it's like, whoa, here we go. That typical video game stealth.
You can't see me. People don't know I pulled up a Gears of War manual and just hid behind it. So I wish this game told me more about what it did, the roadie run. Anyway, so the only important thing about this chapter, aside from the end of it, is you get to see Vitalis again. And he's being told he's being excommunicated from the whole Catholic Church. Because everything he's doing is barbaric. Why is Sonic Frontiers popping up on my screen? I don't want to play that yet. But barbaric nonsense. You see him with this big old thing of blood connected to his arm, and they insert the blood, which is disgusting because that's Hugo's blood. And you kind of learn from here that Vitalis is wanting to get the ability of the Prima Macula, which I think is a really cool idea in all of it. Is merging the blood together. I know it's not scientifically possible for that to happen because there's a whole lot of things that have to go into it.
Yes, there's so many things, but also we're in a world to where
I know.
You're in a crazy world. I mean, in the world that it's in, it makes sense. I mean, there's already so many.
It makes sense. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not wrong, but I'm just saying, scientifically, this game has a good touch of realism to it. No matter what, it has a good touch of realism.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So let's just say they have the same compatible blood types. Let's just say they do.
Sure.
With no testing whatsoever.
Just one out of whatever the number is between all of the combinations. Just they got it. They got it first try, which is it.
So you get
anyway.
You get Vitalis injected with the blood, then some Epis Anguis, and then he's like, "Yeah, no, you're excommunicated from this," and he leaves. And Vitalis is all sorts of upset. Then you have to start following Nicholas. Lord Nicholas through. His section is kind of fun because if you know what you're doing, you can sneak ahead of him and supersede a third of all that. You didn't. I did. Then I got caught, and then the game broke and would not let me do it. I took a step too far ahead, and this one goes "Oh, what's that? There you are!" It went up so fucking quick I couldn't even react. So anyway, sneak in, then you find Beatrice in the prison cell. She's about to get tortured. She's been tortured, she's been she's beaten, she's bloody, she's bruised, she's nasty.
Yeah. I just looked up real quick to figure out which one is out. So literally my last video, at least right now as we're recording this, is at the end of it's when I just entered the dream sequence. I just entered it and then I ended the episode. So the next episode will start with the dream sequence. So all this going on forward is not out yet on my channel. But by the time they're watching this, it will be out. But I was it was just in my head is this out yet on my channel? I was because then you said you didn't, and I was like, I mean obviously, but did you watch it? So I went to go double check.
Yeah, I watch when I can, or heck, I'll just put it on in the background.
Yeah, but that episode's not out yet. It'll be out tomorrow, I think. Yeah, tomorrow's the 20th. Yeah, it'll be out tomorrow at the time we're recording this.
You meet Beatrice. She tells Hugo to go get the key. You get the key, and you meet up with her. You try and sneak out, and then you realize there's nothing you can do because you get surrounded by the rats. You're about to get caught, and so you need the rats. And so Beatrice is telling Hugo, who has a big migraine, embrace it. Embrace the headache. Embrace the pain. And then one of the coolest part of this chapter, Hugo begins to control the rats. He can send them off in droves to kill people. And that's how you make your way out. You make your way out killing people, moving the rats out of the way. Because unfortunately, the rats will still kill Hugo.
When I tell you, I pogged, realizing what all the... Because it was all of it connected together. As soon as I figured out, I'm just that's what it. And I gave the whole explanation. I believe is what I realized of what it all means, and I was correct about everything.
Everything that's really happened.
That's why that's why they want him so badly. That's why they're talking about power, not just they're because why would he control the world with finding a cure of the plague? Because all you're known as a healer. Sure, you'll make a lot of money or be known, but that he's making this sound way more bigger than even that. I'm what in the world is it? And I'm oh, he wants it because he's gonna be able to control the rats. He wants to be able to control rats.
Yeah.
And that's
Vitalis wants to be the sole carrier of the macula. That goes back to like 2 chapters ago when they were in his room. It has the scent of Hugo in the room, which is, why they will not go into his room. Because he is their controller, he is one with them. So they're not going to go into that area. It's taboo to them.
Mm-hmm. And then if you want to headcanon, just throw in that maybe they were in the room, like maybe they were hiding out in the room or something, or they were in there recently, so that's why their bodies weren't touched. If you want to just, but like, yeah, again, I very much it still doesn't, like, the father would make sense, but the other
father,
like, I think there's one
Robert
or two.
Would make sense because he doesn't go visit. That's Beatrice.
Yeah. Well,
None of it makes sense.
It blow it in for some reason they were. For some reason being within the vicinity.
There was
where Hugo,
originally a reason. I guarantee you there was, but like you said,
I'm sure there was, but I'm pretty sure they changed an idea and it was something there, and it's like it would be so much work to change all this. Let's just leave it as is and hope that's all. Here you go, Plague Tale. I'm throwing in a headcanon. They had either they went into his room at some point, or they made his food or interacted with him at some point, or at least the mother, and so they didn't go in there, which is still very funny because Hugo and because even that Hugo and Beatrice can still get caught by rats. So
yeah, it's like that's why this issue, like, Amicia can get killed by the rats, and she was in there.
Yeah, just throw it in as that's what it originally was going to be, but unfortunately it didn't carry over. So they could have totally made an idea off of it, but it just wouldn't work.
Something, unfortunately.
That's probably what it was. They probably were thinking it would be a good idea, but then but it doesn't make sense. It's like it's already in the game, man. Like let's just leave it be and maybe theorize, or maybe we use it in Requiem. I don't know anything about Requiem, but maybe they can go off of that. I don't know anything.
Anyway, Requiem barred. So end of the chapter is you end up making your way to a big old open courtroom. Vitalis is like, Hugo! You've embraced it. And so let's kill them both. Let's kill Beatrice, take Hugo. And so then you have Beatrice being protected by Hugo throwing rats until he passes out. Which is cool. And I just want to say this for Danger's point, because I absolutely love this. And he's probably not going to sit down and go watch my 8.5-hour Plague Tale stream. I think you should for this one bit, because that one bit I began screaming, "Crazy! I was crazy once! They locked me in a room! A rubber room!" And I'm just killing them, just scared.
I unfortunately did not use that joke as much as I wanted to. I wanted to use that joke like every moment I could, and I was like, I want to so badly. I love the joke. It's so funny to me.
Anyway.
But yeah, dude, you're like, okay, so yeah, the next episode, yeah, part 7 is the next episode. You're going to hate it. You're going to be very upset because near the end, I realize something and I say something and you probably won't like it. You probably won't. Okay. But I mean, you may be like, oh, it's like, it's whatever. I kind of see it, but knowing I'm like, oh, I see it. You're like, no, it's not. So I imagine. But yeah, part 7, yeah, because I was talking about it, but it'll be out tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Chapter 15. Chapter 15 is a fun chapter. It's a shorter chapter. It's another one of those short chapters. But chapter 15 has only 2 things that happen. They're in the house, dealing with everything. It's been a few weeks since Hugo's left. Amicia's still kind of recoiling from it.
3 weeks, I think.
Huh?
I think it was 3 weeks.
It was 3 or 4, right around there. We'll say a month. We'll just say a month. I can't remember a specific time.
I think it actually said 1 month later. I think it literally said 1 month later.
So anyway, they were still recoiling, and then Amicia goes running around, finds Arthur and Melly. Arthur wants to leave, Melly wants to stay, and so then this pissed me off. Lucas at the beginning of the chapter is, Amicia, I cannot get this lock open. It is frozen. Go get Melly for me. That's why she goes and finds Melly. Melly goes on back. You can run back and have another conversation with both of them. But you know what never gets opened? That damn chest. I'm salty because I want to know what's in that fucking chest.
You know what? Could have been that he more just wanted to talk to Melly than actually get the chest open.
Oh, I guarantee you that's more what it was. Because after all that,
because here's the thing,
each other.
he doesn't forget. He's the alchemist. Like, he is the smart one. He wouldn't forget. Oh, like, what would make him forget that he needed to get something from a chest if he actually did, which he probably did.
Well,
but what would make him forget?
Way, he said it was locked, so that's why he wanted Melly.
Yeah.
So yeah, does all that. You then Melly goes back, and Arthur and Amicia for the first time have their own actual interaction. And Amicia is trying to convince Arthur, you don't have to leave. We have something good here. We have Roderick doing his own Roderick thing. He's just sitting up there kicking some stuff. Melly and Lucas are starting to get like each other. She's happy. So she's literally like, this is a good thing going on. And as his baby about to decide, the rats attack in droves, higher than even droves. They completely flood the entire corridor, the big open area of the castle. Their brazier system didn't work, so now they're literally scrambling to get back. As I scramble to get back, who's messaging me? Okay. As I scramble to get back to the main thing, you see Hugo and Lord Nicholas walk in through the rats. Hugo's wearing a whole new little drip where he looks like he's gonna fucking murder you. Stares down Amicia with dead eyes, and Nicholas following behind is, yes, boy, kill her. And so, yeah, then you talk. Amicia's like trying to console Hugo, my brother, I'm sorry, please love me again. And Nicholas like, yeah, no, he can't hear you anymore. And that part right there was kind of intimidating the first time you play it, because you have Nicholas trying to convince Hugo to kill Amicia. And Hugo looks up at Nicholas, looks at Amicia, and then they start walking. Not killing, and Nicholas is just kind of marching behind. And it's just a nice little sequence. You back up as Amicia. Nicholas is like twice her fucking size. And it's kind of intimidating watching this big man just kind of burrowed over this child. As you realize shit's about to go down. What kind of shit? I don't know. But it's about to go down. After a little while, Nicholas is like, yeah, no, your rats are useless to me. Shoves him aside. Is about to kill Amicia. Arthur from the top parapets knocks over some rocks. Do not understand how he did not take more damage, because those rocks hit him flat. And he wasn't under the rocks. Like, it should have theoretically killed him. So Amicia has a nice little heart-to-heart with Hugo, to where they finally bond. Hugo goes out of his stupor, and he's like, I'm sorry, Amicia, but you lied to me. Now you understand. Yes, I'm sorry. Mother's alive. I know. I met Mother. And, yeah. Then you have a boss fight with Nicholas. Nicholas gets up. Arthur is sitting there trying to talk to him. He's like, yeah, we got this. And Arthur gets fucking impaled by Lord Nicholas. And the boss fight begins. Arthur's another character that really didn't do... Okay, actually, you know what? Arthur did more than Roderick, if you really think about it.
Sure. Let's go with that then, sure.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
How? Elaborate. What did Roderick do outside of his one chapter story-wise?
He helped barricaded through. Anytime there was ever a problem of needing to continue forward, he needed to help barricade through the walls and the doors and take out people. I'm saying
outside of game mechanic-wise, what did he do? Aside for something later in chapter 16.
I mean, Arthur the whole time was trying to convince
Arthur helped Amicia escape earlier in the game from a camp.
And Roderick helped her escape from their home base from the university, collapsing walls on fire with a bunch of people around.
Amicia would have been able to get out by herself.
No, because she didn't know how to open the door. She didn't know how to open the door that they went through. Arthur wouldn't know how to do it either.
Oh, Melly would have. Master Locksmith, remember? She could open any door.
Millie, yes. Not Arthur.
Not Millie. Mellie.
Mellie. Melly, but not
like
Arthur.
Meliodas. But no, Arthur did a little more in the story beat, honestly.
Sure.
I mean, he did. I know.
Agree to disagree.
It
Agree
sucks. It sucks. I prefer Roderick.
Agree
Arthur just did a little more.
to disagree.
So anyway, you fight.
Also, he opened the trap, which the whole mechanism, even though the rats overflooded it, like they would have been stuck. It still would have been stuck, and so he made it to where they could set it up.
I mean, either way though, that could have been avoided either way. That's just a story beat right there. SpongeBob's shoes were untied. Well, somebody could have just tied his shoes. That's one of those things right there. But story beat wise, Roderick had one moment. Truly.
He had two moments.
And Arthur had two.
Roderick had two.
Arthur had two. He got her
cool,
out.
So they're even.
But which one was more impactful to the story?
I would say, no, I wouldn't agree.
You have one defining thing. You know, we'll get to it in a minute. But anyhow, so you fight Lord Nicholas in a cool fight. You hit him with the rats because it's the first time you have access to actually using the rats in combat. Hugo has control of the rats to some degree. They're under the ground, so you have to hit the
He
fires.
literally used them the chapter before. He literally used them against
some
people.
degree. There are some moments where he's like, "Hey, I can't." They're not listening to me. If he overused it, so he has it to some degree. Not probably, let's say 80% degree, but still degree. So anyway, with all that, you fight Lord Nicholas in a really cool fight. You have to hit him 3 times, which is always rules of 3s in these games. Hit him with rats once, he goes down. He gets up and lights his sword on fire.
A lightsaber.
And his arm too. Fuck you. Is that the comparison you fucking make?
Well, with that specific thing, I would say it's pretty close with that one.
Is that the one you're talking about, or no?
No, I'm talking about the sword specifically lighting up like a lightsaber. I'm talking about that specifically.
I'm just making sure. I'm making sure we
Yeah,
have it right.
No. Yeah, no. I'm talking about specifically the sword.
So anyhow, you fight him you hit him with the fire, which is really cool. You put out fires to bring the rats up, and you put out his sword and arm with the extinguish. If you not, he'll just reignite it. It's really cool. Like, Nicholas had a cool boss fight. Like, I'm gonna remember his boss fight.
Yeah, no, it was cool. I did die, I think, 2 or 3 times. I would either get stuck, or I'd be like, oh, he doesn't see me, and then he does. And so it was a little annoying at first. I had to figure it out. I struggled way too long with the beginning part. Because what I did is, and with the trap, I turned to the left, not the right. But I thought I was supposed to go left, and then I tried to figure everything else. I was like, "Huh, no, this works." Then I would looked around, couldn't find anything. Then I turned it all the way to the right, and then I just said, "Oh, it's in this direction." Not exactly where I was supposed to go though, because I'm pretty sure it was to the side, because it showed me the right side, but I was supposed to go to the left side, and so it was annoying, and I got confused. So the part. It lasted way longer than it should have been. I could have beaten it sooner and potentially have gone into the next chapter and beat it. But I struggled way too long on the first part and then the next part. So that's why, unfortunately, it was a part and a half.
That's fine. It happens. You aren't supposed to beat the game the first try. You're supposed to learn from it. Thank goodness it doesn't have a life system. That if you die, you have to restart the game.
The whole game.
That'd be fun.
That would be a nightmare. But you know what? As long as they made ways to where you
No,
could...
it's the exact same game. It's like the Doom mode, the Doom 1 life mode. You die, you start over.
I mean, it could totally be done.
That's why we need to do our Kingdom Hearts Soul Link thing, where if you die, we have to start. One of us dies, we have to start the whole story over.
Sounds so... No, because that's going to be so long. If we get near the end and one of us dies...
One of us... As if either one of us could die.
Anything could happen. And you could be laughing at your own joke, and then you accidentally get hit by it too many times. It could entirely happen.
Kingdom Hearts 2 I could absolutely see happening, because there's one boss in there anyway. Specifically, so you fight Nicholas, you kill Nicholas, then you have a nice little heartfelt moment where Melly wants to go kill everybody. Amicia and Hugo decide, let's go save Mother, because yes, for sure, Mummy's alive. And Roderick and Lucas is just there for the ride. End of chapter 15, on to chapter 16. Our last actual chapter of the game. And yes, I know there's one after this, but it's the actual last chapter. So, yeah. Last chapter of the game, you go back to the village you were at where you had to go to the get the book, the Sanguinis Intinera. You get to use all some new smart moves, using the rats to kill people. You can now walk through the hordes of rats, because now Hugo has control over them, so they will not attack you. So rats mean nothing to you. You use rats to kill people. Stealth through, kill people. Just kill people with rats, pretty much, is this whole fucking chapters. There's a group. Let's just hit them with rats. There's another group. More rats. You way over there just minding your business. Rats.
The rats have way more range than I thought they did.
Oh, yeah.
I unfortunately did not find out until, like near the end, like, towards, like, right outside of the castle area.
So, yeah, let's go.
Or the church.
You did a little bit, you go a little more, like, you have Roderick with your side helping you out, but you have rats. You don't need Roderick, you have rats. One thing also going on through all this, Melly is pissed off, because people around her are dying now. Well, a brother died because of Vitalis.
Yeah.
Roderick is hyping up Hugo with his rat powers, and Amicia is not for it. Like, there's a whole lot to it.
Yeah.
Like, this whole chapter, which is really good for the character-wise, because you can see how the characters react. Melly gets overcome with anger. Roderick will again get overcome with the ability of, that's disgusting, power. As a trailer for Baldur's Gate just popped up.
Mm.
And Amicia is just wanting to protect her brother, and Lucas is just kind of there trying to calm Melly down. Another sign that those two have a little thing with each other. They probably are in a relationship at this point. Probably.
Mm.
I'll assume so. It'll make Lucas happy. So, more killing. You make your way to a spot. You see two normal people. You save them. They run off. And as they're running off, like, oh, thank you, child, they get shot by arrows. And you have a choice to make here, which not everybody knows. I didn't on my first try. My second time I found it. But you can continue on, because if you want to, Roderick will push this. Well, you can push this massive wooden cart to protect yourself from getting hit by arrows. But right at this little area, you can turn around and you get a little bit, as Danger called it, Roderick lore.
The lore. Anytime that I find anything that you're not forced to go to, I call it the lore.
Danger, I'll let you explain this part, because you have a big hard-on for Roderick.
The lore. Okay, so in this section, it's basically like the nest. Like, you see the area that looks like their nest, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, it must be like, this is where I could get some more loot real quick. Like, I wonder if there's anything back here. Like, I don't think it's another path. I was like, maybe it's a way to go around, but it doesn't make sense because it's going in the opposite direction. So I go this way. I'm like, oh, okay, so there's more loot. That's cool. Got a bunch of loot, and then it's like, and then I believe Roderick started with like we shouldn't go this way, and then Amicia was like, why not? He's like, we should, like, we just shouldn't. And like they kept talking for a bit, and clearly he was like not wanting to go this way. I'm like, oh. There's something this way. What? And I look and I see there's a gate that you can. Either they mentioned it or I saw it. The gate you can break with it's a ring that you can break with a rock. And so I break it, and he's like we shouldn't go this way. And then I was like, well, now we gotta go. Like, clearly this is something. We go in, and so through my playthrough, I did not get much of the secret stuff. At least I don't think so. But going in, he was like this is like my home, like that, like, because beforehand I'm like, oh, he's Roderick, he's the tank. But then we get this moment to where like he literally drops to his knees, like, this is my home, like, this is where my father was or is raised. Like, this is where my father this is where my father is, like, this is my home, this is what he had, and it's all gone. Father gone, place where I learned everything gone. And then Amicia is like all that's with you. Like, yes, they took everything away from you, but they can't take away what makes you you. Like you're Roderick the tank. Like They can't take that away from you. He's like, you're right. He's like, yeah, you're right. Let's do this. Let's get this over with. Like, this is it. Let's keep going. And that right there, having it right there, so then when moments after, I thought it was going to be like, oh, he'd be fine. But then he's like, you get on the, like, Amicia gets on the cart. She's like ready to push. It's like, all right, Roderick, like, let's do this. Let's push through. Let's get on through. And he just shoves her out of the way. He's like, no, like, I'm going to do this. He knows that, like, he knows the chances of surviving this is probably not going to be high. And he's like, you get behind this. I'm going to lead on through. I'm just like, no. I was like, please lead on. He's Roderick the tank. He pushes the payload to the end, and he is perfectly fine. And so we use it as a barricade. And as we're going on through, he's like, protect me. So I'm like, I'm ready to go. We take out 6 people. There's 3 in the front, 3 behind, and then I think 2 more actually come out. And we're just like, Hugo's like, Hugo is like scared for him. We're telling him no, like, to get back. He's just like, no, like I'm gonna just keep going. He's calling out where he is, and then eventually we get to the end, and he's been hit. He's been hit more than once. There's a lot of blood. And so what he does is he goes up to the gate, like, he's still going, he's still moving, and he sounds and looks fine. I'm like, clearly he's not fine, but it's like, hey, maybe he makes it. Maybe he's like, hey, I'll wait here, like, y'all keep going. Or maybe it's like, I'm gonna rest here, we keep going, and we just assume he's fine. But no, he helps lift the gate, and I already know, like, using all of his strength and his current condition to lift the gate for us to get through, I was like, he's not gonna make it, is he? And as I'm thinking that, he drops the gate, and he also, like, he falls to all the wounds he's taken, and he dies. He literally dies, and Hugo's hand, and it's already so sad because, one, he's already one of my favorite characters, but then 2, we have this more emotional bonding moment because the whole time he's talking about, like, oh yeah, it's like I guess I got traits from my father. It's like, oh yeah, like, that is one thing I'm good at, blah blah blah. Like, his whole character, and then he finally is like, like, I've lost so much, but this is it. Like, you know what, I got it. Like, let's do this. Let's go. I'm here now, and then he's gone. Literally moments later. Mm-hmm. That was the first death and the only death in the game that hit me so hard. I felt so bad after that. Like, I was just like, man, that hurt. That death hurt. I was hurt after.
Oh yeah, Roderick's death was awful. He had a great end. Considering you talk to him a little more, you kind of realize he has a lot of internal turmoil. He wants to basically live up to what his father wanted him to do, and then wasn't able to. So he hates himself for kind of all that stuff. It's internal stuff. Like, you talk to him more, a little more.
Like I mentioned earlier. Like, yeah, it's like one of the things you do is you end up being upset at yourself, and at times, even if it's a reasonable thought, you put it to an irrational amount of just beating yourself down, and that's definitely that's where you get in turmoil and whatnot, where you get angry easily, or even at yourself. So that was one of those things to where, yeah, like, same thing, lot of weight on his shoulders, and especially because he's the tank. He sees himself as, like, oh, the tank, like, I need to be the tank, and he truly did. He truly was. Until the very end.
R.I.P. big guy.
And that hurt. That hurt.
R.I.P. big guy.
So long, Roderick. You will never be known as the tank.
So yeah.
So sad, bro.
After that, you then get to see a little bit more of characters. Melly gets more pissed. Now people around her are dying. She wants to kill Vitalis. Lucas tries to calm her down to no prevail. And then they go on their final walk. Yeah, final walk before they get to the thing. And they're killing people. Roderick. Hugo is using the rats to just terrorizing people. You make it to the bottom of this chapel, this big old church. And I don't know if you noticed this, but when that big group of like 6 guys walks out, did you know they're all walking in perfect sync? They're
Yeah,
walking. I'm gonna clip this in so people know. But they're literally walking and they'll just
play the Imperial March theme as they're walking
much. And I was just sitting there laughing because they walk in such perfect sync. It's unnecessary.
Again, wait, I imagine it's like oh, it's a big game level looking game. It is an amazing game. So therefore we're going to naturally end up critiquing it as if it's like Microsoft or something, but it's not. It's definitely not. It was made by a smaller team and it's super cool. And by saying small team, I'm like, oh, they're not skilled. Like clearly they're very, 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 very skilled, but they clearly do not have the budget and the time and all of it, and like the amount of people, amount of skill, amount of help, amount of technology, such as these big things, but they still made an absolutely amazing game.
Mm-hmm. I'm not even harking on it. That's just absolutely hilarious.
Oh, I know you're not. I'm not and whenever I say this, it's not harking either. But I'm just saying, yeah, this is. I'm saying, I'm more on the side of, again, people are probably going to complain about it or defend it, but either way, I'm saying that I'm way more relaxed with this game with any issues that it could have, because of that situation.
Yeah.
Which is why the little story hiccup with the whole why are these people in room being untouched. It's a little hiccup that they probably had an idea for, but by the time they were way too far into it near the end.
Yeah. So then you kill them and you go inside the church and Vitalis like, Hugo de Rune! I trained you and now you want to kill me? I'll just kill your mother! And his mother pops down in a cage. He's like, no, Hugo, run! And Melly and Lucas separate from the group. Arthur had a bad death. So, sorry, somebody messaged me.
No, yeah, you just got any of this out. That's any of a pause. You need to pause for a second?
Yeah. So, you make it into the chapel. They talk for a little bit, and Vitalis is like, I'm going to kill you because I'll be the sole proprietor of the Prima Macula. And then they start walking. And one of my favorite parts of this game is when they're walking down the pew, through the aisles, with the pews on there, and Hugo just raises his hand and rats start getting summoned. That's so badass.
It was super cool.
You made a mention in the chapter 4, 3 or 4, in the church with Father Thomas, where you run on through. It gave you Little Nightmare vibes. Mm-hmm. This gives me Little Nightmare vibes because the power is there.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And at the end, how Six just kills all of them, wave her hand.
Yeah. And then at the ending of that game as well. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about in the beginning of the
that
first
right
game.
There is
the ending of the first game. Whoops.
Little Nightmares.
Both of those. I think it's because it's the long. I think for the first one it was the lighting, but for both of them it's because it's a long hallway with a bunch of chaos kind of folding in, and the Little Nightmares had that I think more than once. So that's where I think that feeling kind of fell in, but also the whole color palette was similar, and the lighting and whatnot, to where it's that very foggy look. Not too foggy, obviously, but I mean it's kind of got that.
It's got the
fog.
Blood and all this kind of just nastiness as Vitalis.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff going on, so that's where it kind of reminded me as such.
Yeah, so then Beatrice gets saved by Lucas and a Melly, and then the boss fight begins. Actually, no,
Pokemon battle.
One fun thing, yes, it is Pokemon battle. I was about to say that.
They got a shiny variant.
In chapter 14, is that the chapter 4? I think it was chapter. Yeah, it's chapter 14.
I believe it was chapter 14.
Where you get Explorers Hugo, you see naked rats, hairless, red-eyed albino rats.
Shiny rats.
That are the Inquisitor's rats. These are the ones he's controlled. They are supposed to eating people. We also find out the nests are made out of human bodies and their bones. These rats are just fed human blood. I'm not sure what difference it actually is because they drink the human blood either way, but there's some difference that allows it to be different.
There's something. Again, I think this goes into position one of those things to where if we were never given an explanation or shown something, it just goes into clearly there was an idea in mind, but maybe they did not fully. They didn't fully execute it. So
Yeah.
this could be another one of those things. Because it's creepy. It's like it's like some sort of ritual thing going on, but it's like maybe I missed a side page or something, a little article of like by feeding them 20 men's blood, they will ascend into power or something. Like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Why is their blood important?
There's something not explained in it.
They don't eat humans, but then
They drink their
they're
blood.
eating but they're drinking their blood only. So it's like, wouldn't they still kill the humans? Sure, they wouldn't eat the bodies, but wouldn't they become just vampire reps?
Unless it's like theoretically, unless they're giving him Vitalis' blood, I guess.
But how with all those guys? Well, all those guys were there being bled out. It's not them.
No.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense at all.
Oh, it doesn't, and never will, because it's Plague Tale Innocence. So you have this fight, and honestly, it's a memorable fight. I'll remember both of these boss fights.
I'll remember the first one. Like I still remember the
Oh, with
first boss
Conrad,
fight.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like
Yeah.
way later on down the years, like Dad, what can you tell me about Plague Tale? Ah, Vitalis. Nicholas.
I'll honestly remember the second fight better than the third one. I think the second one is cool.
Oh, the Nicholas fight's my favorite fight in the game. Just because of all the throws with it.
Mm-hmm.
The Vitalis fight is fun because it's got a little bit more to it, but at the same time it really doesn't. Because Vitalis uses these white rats and more or less has complete control over them. He'll wave into a big old hand and smack the ground. He'll
It's not even a hand. It's just a giant pillar. It's not even a hand.
He raises his hand and smacks down. He shoves them into the ground. They attack up, and you have to hit him 3 times with a rock. He's a tough man that he has to get hit 3 times with a rock.
Yeah.
You do your fighting. You just dodge his rats. Send Hugo because he has the ability to spin the rats at him. And after a little bit, you eventually kill him. He falls down, dead, and you make your way out of there with Beatrice in tow. Chapel falling behind. Then Chapter 17. Yeah, Chapter 17 is literally like 20 minutes. At most. 10. It's a short chapter. It's like the shortest chapter in the game, pretty much. Wait, you're in this village, Hugo and Amicia are walking around. You find a little game thing where Amicia has to hit targets. It's been 3 days since the rats have disappeared from the world. So you do a little game here and there. You use a sling and hit these rats. You win, you get an apple. You don't, Hugo gets sad. Hugo goes running forward a little more because there's a fair going on, and people start looking at him like, hey, is that him? Is that the boy? We don't know what... We have an idea what's going on. I didn't realize the first time through that people knew that this was the boy. But he goes to this village, like, hey, can I enter your party? Yeah, no. A small boy, and a young girl are wanted by people. You guys are small boy and young girl, so we're not going to let you in here. Get on your merry way. They get on their merry way, race to the cart. They see Beatrice and the thing. They were getting supplies for Lucas to make an antidote because Beatrice took a shit ton of damage. And this isn't like, let me just drink this medication, you're good. They have months of reparation and repair. So you get in that. They have a nice little scene as, Hugo is making fun of Amicia, and Amicia's being a good big sister. The music begins to play, and credits roll, and you have now made it to the end of Plague Tale Innocence.
It is so good. It is so great. The whole game is great. The whole game is so good. Well, I love it.
No, it is absolute. Like I said, it's a great, fantastic game. I'm glad I spent the $40 on it.
Oh yeah, no, it is super cool. It is super nice.
Yeah, it's like, honestly, this is a game here that unfortunately I'm gonna have to say is a lot of times you play a game, if it's a sequel, you need to play the other one. You need to play this one and then Requiem immediately after. because otherwise it changes a lot. You go by itself, I'm doing a whole lot of thing in my head. There are gripes here. I'm going to use Requiem for later thing. Because you play them literally back-to-back. There's a 6-month time gap, but it's a hell of a lot better if you play it back-to-back. Danger doesn't have the ability to play it back-to-back.
No. But,
he will eventually.
I mean, eventually. Here's the thing. If it is worth it, right? If it is it's so worth, like, playing the first one, then the next one, I would totally not mind playing the other one again. And if I did, even though the quality wouldn't be that good, I could stream it trying to play it again. Like, hey, I already know that I'm going to get, like, the second one, or I have the second one. I'm going to live stream, just kind of do this as fast as I can. I know what to do now. And so we should be able to fly through this in, maybe, 4 streams, but I could fly through this in a few hours. Might be 4 streams, though.
Because it's like an 18-hour thing.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah.
I want to say there was one of my streams that was legitimately like a 6-hour stream of it.
Yeah.
Let me actually go.
But yeah, no, game, super cool, super fun, love it. It's sick. It is sick. And I even said in the description that here. I want to quote myself properly. Let me go find it. I said it's something to a degree. Hold on. Let me go read. Yeah, I gotta go. It's like a hidden video in the back. Let me find this video in the back.
It took me 15 hours to beat the game, so it'll like the first time through. So it's about twice the length of this first one.
I said, like, much like The Last of Us, even though it was a fake world full of fake creatures and scenarios, it still felt so real. And the reason I'm saying fake is because it's a video game.
Yeah.
But
no, it's not. This is realistic. God.
Yeah, I know. But I was just saying before everyone was like, well, it's based off real things. Like, it's a video game, so it's fake. But it's like
based on real things. Don't get me wrong. It
is based off real things. But it's still a fake world, though. But it still feels and hits so real. And then that was like, dude, it is. Yeah, man. It's so good. It's so good. I love this game. And I am gonna have to give, like, I believe that the rating that I'm gonna give this game, I'm not gonna have 2 separate ratings. I think it's the same rating either way, because I think even unbiased, I still think my answer is gonna be honest.
So, but we gotta go complaints, because I have a couple complaints playing through it, especially for later things.
Sure.
And then also you got some of the fun things. The game isn't just story beats. You have the ability to go get side collectibles. Pick up flowers for Hugo. Pick up collectibles or pick up gifts for other characters. You pick up a pair of glasses, and Amicia's like, oh, Lucas needs glasses. These may help him with all this stuff. You got those collectibles. You have like 5 or 6 pretty much each chapter except for the first one and the last one, which is fun. I'm not going to complain about that. My biggest complaint, I really want to say, that's 2 biggest. I'm going to complain about the AI. It's 2019. Smaller studio or not, it should have been a little bit better. Just for the fact of you could walk next to them. Like, there were times where I wouldn't run, but I would have Amicia stand up and sprint as fast as she can run without actually running across the screen. And they're literally... I'm here looking, and they're literally like, I move quick right behind them. They should have picked that up. It should have not. It saves about 10 minutes to the whole game. I won't even lie. My biggest issue, AI is a thing. It's 2019. I know, a small studio or not, they could have probably made better AI for it, just because there's a lot of technicalities that shouldn't have happened. Like, so I can move. You can stand up and not get seen if you move fast enough because you're not running, so you're still sneaking. I wish that wasn't the case.
I do agree about the AI thing. I do agree about that.
Characters are done very well, but at the same time, some of them are done too well. Because Hugo, I love Hugo. God, he gets annoying though, especially some story moments where you're supposed to leave him behind, and the game messes up. Like, hey, I'm gonna leave him here, and he freezes, and it's like, Amicia, I'm scared. That happens.
Here's the thing. I have 2 younger siblings.
Danger, I've worked with kids. This is 100% how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it's still annoying.
But it's not wrong though, so I wouldn't even say like you can complain about it, but it's accurate. Like it's.
Oh, I know it's 100% accurate. It's 100% accurate.
So I mean, you complain about it. I'm not complaining about it because it's accurate. It's an accurate, real thing. I have 2 siblings. Both of them, being younger, had problems and were whiny.
Accurate
so, like,
or not, you can still complain.
Sure, but I'm not gonna add that as a complaint.
The
AI I agree with. The Hugo being annoying.
The AI is 100%.
I don't agree with.
This is a personal preference, just because first time through I heard it a lot more than I needed to, so that's why I don't care for hearing Hugo go, Amicia, I'm scared. And the other one is it makes sense, but I wish it didn't. Is because it gets fixed in 2. Is her whole ammunition system, the rocks and all that. Whenever you craft something, you use a rock to craft it. So Ignifer, you ignite it on the rock. It makes sense. But then at the same time, it doesn't make sense. Because everything you craft has to have a rock as its component. Odorous, the guy earlier on in the game had Epis Anguish and Saltpeter shoved them together. He didn't have a rock. He shoved them in a bottle and threw them.
Yeah.
For some of the things, Ignifer, if you want to launch it, that's fine. Then it should take a rock. But I should not take one rock to make Ignifer and then another rock to throw the Ignifer. It should be make the Ignifer, then you lose the Ignifer when you throw it. So that right there is probably the only 2 biggest complaints I'm actually going to have, aside for, like, people just look a little wonky, which, smaller studio, I'll let that pass. But actual gameplay-wise, it's just, why? Why?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't really have a problem with the whole system. I think the system was done pretty good.
Like it's first time, like I said, first time through it bothered me. Second time and third time through, it's perfectly fine. It makes sense. But then at the same time, you have moments where you don't have rocks, but you need stuff. And if you're absolutely aggressive, sometimes you don't have the rocks you need because you use them in killing people.
I was fine with rocks the whole time.
I know it's not a big thing. It's not always a big issue, but then sometimes the possibility of it being there is absolutely.
Yeah, there may be someone who spams rocks even more than I do, which that person is even more crazy than I am.
So
there's one section in a game, and I believe it's actually in the next. I believe it's in the next episode. If not, then it's in the episode app. Yeah, no, it might be part 8. There's one section to where I think I run out of rocks or I'm needing something, but I just kept throwing like Ignifer at a guy to like get him distracted for a few moments to kind of just stun him.
You can get an upgrade to do that. The upgrade system's
great. I think it's great. I think it's fun.
I
had no problem with it, and it actually like helped with stuff.
It's one of those things, like, it's fine, but then at the same time it isn't fine. Because later on in the game, you get some upgrades that completely make its upgrade system useless. Because workbenches are very apparent. Like, you see, like, there's 2 or 3 per chapter, pretty much.
If you pass by it, you're gonna see it. I'm very, very, very positive. I have seen every single workbench. Like I've noticed them. Because they make it very clear, hey, that's workbench. Like, the lighting is different. It's clearly like a top-down, like, lamp-type view. The table, the way that's set up, like, it's the same every single time. So it's very clear what is a workbench, and I think that was done really well. Because if there was a workbench and you ended up passing it, that'd be really unfortunate. So I'm glad they made it obvious. And the upgrades. One thing I also love is you can see what the next upgrade is.
Oh yeah, that's great.
I think that's great. That way, because there are some games where you upgrade something, and you don't know what the next upgrade is until you have the previous item for it. So it's like, what happens if I upgrade this? I don't know. Let me upgrade it and see what happens. Oh, I'm never going to need this. But then also the upgrade after that you may use throughout the whole game. So with this system, you can see what the second and third are. So let's say, hey, this third thing I know I'm going to use throughout the whole game. Sure, I don't need the second one, but once I get this third one, I'm going to be set for the whole game probably, most likely.
Yeah.
And that was, I think that was done really well. I really like that.
I wish, like, it's just one of the upgrades because you can completely get rid of the need for a workbench. Then you can have the need to get rid of tools altogether, which is kind of a waste just because tools are abundant. Workbenches are also abundant. Like, it's just some of the upgrades don't do a whole lot. Like, some of them are great. You have the ability to throw 2 rocks in one sling. Like, chunk. That's great. The ability to run faster is great. The ability to throw the Somnus all the way across. Somnus is basically a one-shot kill on any human. Is great, but then some of the upgrades are just kind of useless. Honestly.
They're there. I mean, different people have different styles, so I'm sure. I mean, they're there to be there. If you don't want to get them, you don't got to get them. But if you do want it, or you're actually someone who was wanting it, then I mean, hey, there it is.
Like, honestly, I like this game. Don't get me wrong, I love this game. This is absolutely one of my games. Whenever I have kids and they're old enough, I'm gonna say, all right, Tommy, Bertha, sit down. You're playing Plague Tale: Innocence. Dad, why am I called Bertha? Yes, because I hate you.
This is a game that to my ability, my kids are not touching this game until they're 18. Like,
I'll give them. My kids will be 14. My kids will be 14.
Here's the thing. It's not even fully in my power as well. Also, like that's a whole rant. We can talk about off camera. But yeah, or not rant, but it's the whole thing we can talk about off camera. But yeah, no. But yeah, they'd be older by the time they see this game. Maybe not 18, but yeah, they would be older. I would not want them being 13, 14, 15. It's playing this game.
So I'm gonna give this game
it's
8.
Go ahead. An 8?
Yes.
Wow.
For the music, because the music goes very well with and adds a hell of a lot to it. The characters are done masterfully. The world is immaculate. All of it's good. It leads in really well. It's something you're gonna remember.
Yeah, no.
Compared
100%.
to other games that we're gonna play,
we're gonna end up like it's no longer gonna be, oh, this game's like Last of Us. We're gonna say this game's like Last of Us or Plague Tale. Like, this is gonna be on that bracket of what we compare future games to because this game's great.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna end up using it as like a base plate.
Like,
so I mean, hey, if any, I'm just saying. Like, if anyone who either worked on this game or knows someone who did, like, this game's awesome. I love this game.
Sponsor me! This game is an 8. 100% an 8 in my opinion. Just because of all of it goes into it. A lot of effort went into it. All the characters are great. It's by far, it's not a masterpiece. But this is probably one of the closest games to a masterpiece that I've actually played. If it didn't have character, it's a whole bunch of small things going into it. Characters needed more spotlight. Roderick needed more time to him. Arthur needed more time to him because we got a chapter with Melanie. We got a chapter with Lucas. We hardly knew Roderick before he died. We really didn't know Arthur before he died.
The fact, here's the thing, the fact that Roderick, that what was like shown for the character, was something you needed to go find. That, like, there should have been more in front of you. Like, yes, again, we got plenty of stuff, but that the fact that the most emotional bit was a hidden piece, like, that's what made me cherish it so more. But it's like, I could have played this, not known that, and I would have not had the level of pain that I felt after his death. So, I mean, it was done well, but I wish it, like, I mean, here's the thing, you go forward, like, here's the thing, as you turn around from the upgrading your thing, I mean, now, like, you could end up seeing it at the corner of your eye. It's a giant nest. Like, it's not super hidden. It's there, but it's the fact that it's kind of hidden. Now, it makes it a little more impactful, but still, like, it was great, but it should have been more forward. But also, like, I mean, there's a few things with this game that could have made it. Like, I'm gonna say this right now. I'm also giving it an 8, but I want to give it a 9. I want to give it a 9. But with the weird thing going on at the whatchamacallit, like the weird story, like, things that don't get explained and also don't make sense.
Yeah, they're like getting circled with no explanation.
There's a bunch of stuff going on that doesn't make sense. There is like the the fact that like there's if they had like the same, it's like the whole like stormtrooper thing or enemy thing. It like yeah, it's a bunch of the same models, but you could have given them like a different haircut. Could have given them like you could have given one a beard, like just something to add a little more. So like yeah, it's clearly the same character, but they're all done a little differently. Then sure, but you're like, oh, they're not like as you're running into them more and more and more. And I'm not talking about the armored ones. Armored ones, I think the way they were armored was done great.
Yeah,
I think that was done great.
It's cool.
Oh,
like
it's awesome, dude. That like there was even one part where there was like the two juggernaut looking guys like chasing after Melly and Lucas, and it's like, oh boy, like those are the juggernauts, like those, and it's really cool. But the characters, every little bit makes a game could make a game so much better. And so I think just adding a little more to the models of the enemies.
I'm not even gonna bitch about that right there. My biggest thing,
I'm not saying that's a little nitpicking, like right, but the plot hole story thing, like I'm so close to giving it to I'm so close to giving it a 9. Like literally, I bet you if I played it again and I learned more of the story stuff, I would push it to a 9. But the fact that I didn't, which is my fault, but it's not right in front of me. And yes, I kind of looked around a bit. The whole time I'm saying like I'm a loot goblin, like I'm looking around for stuff. And I didn't see, like, I grabbed whatever I saw in there. I even looked around for stuff, and I found some secret things or story things. But, yeah, no, I did, it was fun, it was cool, but I am going to give it an 8. I do want to give it a 9, but there's so many games out there
I think 8 is a prime. I think 8's a good one because...
I think 8's a good number. It is at the very least an 8.
I don't know how you rank your games, but whenever I rank my games, like we do the numbers 1 through 10. 10 is absolute perfect, no flaws whatsoever.
10 perfect, love it, absolutely amazing, no problems with it. Like
I don't know how you rate your games, but whenever I go through the thing, I do rate them based on any complaints I have on how big of an impact they are. So
complaints will.
Story beats.
Complaints do send it down, yeah. And whenever it's like that, I'll give a biased and unbiased. So it's like, oh yeah, there's clearly story problems. So the game itself, I give like a 5, but because I'm biased, I give this game a 7 or an 8. Like whenever it's like that, where it's like I'm biased towards the game, but also I'm giving it an actual rating. That's why I give 2. But this one, not like even if I am biased, like I love the game, but I still think it's an 8. I still think it's an 8, and I don't think that's being biased. I think it's an 8.
Yeah, no, like the only reason it's an 8 for me is because those two big things I pointed out, the lack of character development for some of them, they were done well, but they should have been done a hell of a lot better. Because Roderick
needed more screen time,
but he needed
it was sad.
Hell of a lot more.
It could have hurt. Like, bro, if we had more
Arthur,
I didn't like Arthur too much.
No, that's the point. Even Robert Daroon. All these characters that died and that were big, important characters to Amicia, Robert, Arthur, Roderick, all of them needed more. Yeah. Robert you saw for 10 minutes. Arthur you saw for 10 minutes. Roderick maybe 20? Because you do a big chunk with him. And so that's why you feel more attached to him, because you know more of his character, a little bit more about him. Than you have
if we spent more time with Roderick or something, or learned more about him, or got to see things, like... that would, I'll tell you right now, would have brought me to tears. I would have been on the floor like, no, no, dude, seriously, like it was done so well, but they could have done more. That's
right there. That's why I'm talking it. It's a point each. That one right there is a big, because a lot of this game's story thing is death. Characters gone. It's big, important things to the story, but they're not as impactful for some of them just because of how little you know about them. That's one big point. And then the big plot point in chapter 13, I think it is 13, where you go back to the Mate, the Bailey. Bailey. It's Bailey.
On.
It is the Bailey. You go back to the Daroon estate. The Daroon estate.
It is not 13.
Or 12, whatever
12.
Chapter. Yeah, whatever chapter it is. Whichever chapter it is you go back to get the cure made, the suppressant. You have a big story stuff there that you get no explanation for in this game. And so that right there is another big point. Technically, I should take off more because they made it seem super important and then never touched base on it again.
Yeah.
But I think it's 8 is a great number for this game. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
Sorry, Asobo. I've bitched about you this whole time. I love your games. I want to see what other games you come up with in the future. I'm genuinely curious about what you're gonna do after playing the two.
Oh yeah. It's now a thing to where like you'll end up hearing a company that's like, oh, it's this company. Like I'm now interested. This is now a company that I'm gonna hear make a game, and I'm gonna be like, bro, dude, let's see it. I want to see it.
Let's see here.
Especially like if they go back to or if they start doing their own thing where they're making games based off like history, like maybe they make one like after like the plague. I don't know what they would want to do or what they're gonna do, but then they look back and it's like, oh, like we meet like an old Hugo. Like that would be cool. There's like a little not part of the main story, but like as like a side thing. Like I don't know. I think it would be cool.
So anyway, Asobo, good job. I'm not even kidding. I bitched about it, but you guys did a really good job on this game. And correct me if I have any information wrong. If you're watching this, maybe you are, maybe you're not. Who knows? But correct us if we're wrong on some of these.
Please. No, like listen, Asobo, please. If you can make like a King Arthur style game, bro. It doesn't have to be that, but I would love that.
I want if they did. Here's how I want them to do it. If Asobo does listen,
funny.
I want them to do another apocalypse-based game.
Yeah, no,
like
dude.
Zombies.
They're so good at like
world.
They're so good at a world and a world ending. Like
this this is legitimately one of the prettiest games. This and Requiem. I'm showing my camera as if we're on screen.
Yeah.
Requiem
we're not.
Like these two are absolutely some of the prettiest games I've ever seen, and I'm down with it. That's what I was like. We're going way off topic. Danger, what is our next topic?
Bro, I'll be right back, dude. I'm gonna be right back. I gotta go grab the game, but bro, it is the best game ever, dude. Like, I'm taking my headphones off. I can't hear anything, but bro, dude, I got like such a good game over here. It's so great. I was thinking about maybe like Sonic and the Black Knight or Sonic Racing,
I think Danger forgot his own bits.
I got Pac-Man Party.
God, you know what? I'm just gonna say fuck it. I'm gonna
We got Sonic Unleashed.
Danger!
I don't know what you're thinking about Sonic Unleashed. We got that.
Danger! Get your ass back here!
I got it.
Okay, you know what, Danger? You know what? No. I'm just gonna say no. You're naming off such awful games. Like,
dude, what are you talking about?
Every game you just named off is ass, more than ass, or piece of ass. You know what we're gonna do next?
You wanna play Mario Party 8?
I have Mario Party 6. Fuck you. Next time we play this, next time we do a Games and Gamers, let's just talk video games. Because we're on 10 episodes. Let's just go talk video games.
Sure, yeah, we could talk about
No!
No, we can talk about Mario Party. Look, we got Pokken Tournament.
I do want to play Pokken Tournament. I won't even lie.
Look.
Yeah, stay tuned for the next episode of Games and Gamers, everybody.
We got Mario Party 10. We got Mario Kart 8. Let's talk about games.
We're just going to talk real good video games, not party games, good games. We're just going to talk games in general. I'm not even going to say what kind of games are we talking about. Not Super Mario Party. All jokes aside, I do want to play
Mario Party.
I do want to play Pokken. I'm not even going to
Pokken Tournament is fun. It is fun.
But we're just going to talk video games. Parasite Eve, Final Fantasy, Jericho, Sims. Lord of the Rings. Guardians of Gahul, Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Kingdom, whatever I have on my shelves, because Danger doesn't play good games.
I play good games. I play great games. Some would say that I play some of the best games to exist. I got quite a few titles.
No, I cannot name a single game you've ever played that would ever be called the greatest game to exist. But anybody with any shred of dignity, decency, respect for gaming, or is above the age of 5.
I have the original Mario 8-bit.
I said what I said.
I have a bunch of games that are absolutely amazing.
I said what I said. Thanks all for listening. Stay tuned for Games and Gamers, where we're just going to talk video games in our entirety of it. I'm going to give a shout out to one of the guys in our Discord, Sorbetsu. We play video games. You just play Smash Brothers. You're sad and pathetic.
Oh, Smash Bros. We can talk about Smash Bros. Next episode. I do actually want to, because I want to talk about how impactful it is. I do actually want to, but
that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I do want to actually.
I just don't want to get called a non-gamer by someone who plays one fucking game for 1,000 hours. Like, oh, I'm a fucking professional. I've played one game longer than you breathe. Good for you. I've played more games than you'll ever count. I have cringe-ass games. I have niche games. You know what? Fuck it. I'll be back. Vamp.
He has been holding on to this for a while. His face started turning red. Like, I have not seen, like, I think it was being funny at first, but he legitimately, like, almost immediately started getting actually angry. But anyway, yeah, no, next episode, we're going to be talking about some games. I'm going to be talking about some when I was a kid. Talk about some ones that we're currently playing. I cannot be heard over him yelling.
You know how...
Okay, man.
You know how many niche games I have?
Oh, okay, your face is back to a normal color. Okay.
You know how niche my games are that I have?
Sure, man.
The Bouncer!
The Bouncer.
This is Squaresoft.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. That looks like an adult version of Sora.
Exactly!
That's what it looks like. It looks like if...
This came out a year before Sora.
That's so funny.
Tetsuya Nomura designed him, that's why they look so similar. This is Squaresoft's first PS2 game, now known as Square Enix. This is their first fucking game. If anybody out there says, I don't play video games, how many of you know The Bouncer? How many of you know Jericho? How many of you own Series of Unfortunate Events for the GameCube? Tell me I don't fucking play games.
But yeah, we'll talk about all those types of video games and more so on the next episode of Games and Gamers. We'll be talking about games we used to play as children. We'll be talking about games that we play now and everything in between that we enjoy. And even just, any fun history we have or story of games that we played, or maybe anything related. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed listening to this. Had a very fun time. Both of our channels will be down below. He streamed the entire game. I went ahead and recorded a whole playthrough, which it's actually my first fully completed playthrough. If you're watching this, it's already out now. So yeah, all of it's on the channel in the playlist. So thank you all so much for watching. This has been absolutely fun. I love this. So yeah. Anything else you want to say? You want to take over the episode? Okay, he's gonna go get something else. Alright, I don't know how much of this is gonna be put in or if it's gonna be cut, but I'll ramble anyway. So yeah, and he's back. Okay, so never mind.
Heavy Rain for the PS3.
Does that say favoritos? What does that
Director's
say?
cut. Director's cut.
Favoritos.
Heavy Rain. Oh yeah.
Yeah, why does it say favoritos?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it one of my favoritos games?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain for the PS3. Remember this.
Nice.
I play more games than you do, Sorbetsu.
Okay, come on.
I'm calling him out because he,
sure.
We'll argue this in the next one. I'll argue with that.
Yeah, no, save for next episode, which we'll talk about a whole bunch of games. It'll literally be out. And here's the thing: it is going to be the most chaotic episode. Y'all be ready. Next episode's going to be chaotic because already we're being chaotic and we're on one game each one. Now we're going to be on a bunch of different games, like 10+ games. We're going to be everywhere.
Yep.
But all right, it's been fun, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.